And the third round of election, which the US Constitution does not provide for, was organized. Nonetheless, it was done in Ukraine. Okay, Viktor Yushchenko, who was considered a pro-Western politician, came to power. Fine, we have built relations with him as well. He came to Moscow with visits. We visited Kiev. I visited too. We met in an informal setting. If he's pro-Western, so be it. It's fine. Let people do their job. The situation should have developed inside the independent Ukraine itself. As a result of Kuchma's leadership, things got worse and Viktor Yanukovych came to power after all. Maybe he wasn't the best president and politician, I don't know. I don't want to give assessments. However, the issue of the association with the EU came up. We have always been lenient to this, suit yourself. But when we read through the Treaty of Association, it turned out to be a problem for us, since we had a free trade zone and open customs borders with Ukraine, which under this association had to open its borders for Europe, which would have led to flooding of our market. We said, no, this is not going to work. We shall close our borders with Ukraine then. The customs borders, that is. Yanukovych started to calculate how much Ukraine was going to gain, how much to lose, and said to his European partners, I need more time to think before signing. The moment he said that, the opposition began to take destructive steps which were supported by the West. It all came down to Maidan and a coup in Ukraine.
So he did more trade with Russia than with the EU.
Man, fuck it, squad break.
Of course. It's not even the matter of trade volume, although for the most part it is. It is the matter of cooperation ties, which the entire Ukrainian economy was based on. The cooperation ties between the enterprises were very close since the times of the Soviet Union. One enterprise there used to produce components to be assembled both in Russia and Ukraine and vice versa. They used to be very close ties. A coup d'etat was committed, although I shall not delve into details now, as I find doing it inappropriate, the US told us. Calm Yanukovych down, and we will calm the opposition. Let the situation unfold in the scenario of a political settlement. We said, all right, agreed, let's do it this way. As the Americans requested, Yanukovych did use neither the armed forces nor the police, yet the armed opposition committed a coup in Kiev. What is that supposed to mean? Who do you think you are? I wanted to ask the then US leadership.
With the backing of who?
With the backing of CIA, of course. The organization you wanted to join back in the day, as I understand. We should thank God they didn't let you in. Although, it is a serious organization. I understand. My former vis-a-vis in the sense that I served in the first main director, Soviet Union's intelligence service. They have always been our opponents. A job is a job. Technically, they did everything right. They achieved their goal of changing the government. However, from a political standpoint, it was a colossal mistake. Surely it was political leadership's miscalculation. They should have seen what it would evolve into. So, in 2008, the doors of NATO were opened for Ukraine. In 2014, there was a coup. They started persecuting those who did not accept the coup, and it was indeed a coup. They created a threat to Crimea, which we had to take under our protection. They launched a war in Donbass in 2014 with the use of aircraft and artillery against civilians. This is when it all started. There's a video of aircraft attacking Donetsk from above. They launched a large-scale military operation, then another one. When they failed, they started to prepare the next one. All this against the background of military development of this territory and opening of NATO's doors. How could we not express concern over what was happening? From our side, this would have been a culpable negligence. That's what it would have been. It's just that the US political leadership pushed us to the line we could not cross, because doing so could have ruined Russia itself. Besides, we could not leave our brothers in faith, in fact, a part of Russian people, in the face of this war machine.
What was the, but that was 8 years before the current conflict started. So what was the trigger for you? What was the moment where you decided you had to do this?
Initially, it was the coup in Ukraine that provoked the conflict. By the way, back then the representatives of 3 European countries, Germany, Poland and France, arrived. They were the guarantors of the signed agreement between the government of Yanukovych and the opposition. They signed it as guarantors. Despite that, the opposition committed a coup, and all these countries pretended that they didn't remember that they were guarantors of the peaceful settlement. They just threw it in the stove right away, and nobody recalls that. I don't know if the US know anything about the agreement between the opposition and the authorities, and its 3 guarantors who, instead of bringing this whole situation back in the political field, supported the coup. Although it was meaningless, believe me, because President Yanukovych agreed to all conditions. He was ready to hold an early election, which he had no chance of winning, frankly speaking. Everyone knew that. Then why the coup? Why the victims? Why threatening Crimea? Why launching an operation in Donbass? This I do not understand. That is exactly what the miscalculation is. CIA did its job to complete the coup. I think one of the deputy secretaries of state said that it cost a large sum of money, almost 5 billion. But the political mistake was colossal. Why would they have to do that? All this could have been done legally, without victims, without military action, without losing Crimea. We would have never considered to even lift a finger if it hadn't been for the bloody developments on Maidan. Because we agreed with the fact that after the collapse of the Soviet Union, our border should be along the borders of former Union's republics. We agreed to that. But we never agreed to NATO's expansion, and moreover, we never agreed that Ukraine would be in NATO. We did not agree to NATO bases there without any discussion with us. For decades, we kept asking, don't do this, don't do that. And what triggered the latest events? Firstly, the current Ukrainian leadership declared that it would not implement the Minsk agreements, which had been signed, as you know, after the events of 2014 in Minsk, where the plan of peaceful settlement in Donbass was set forth. But no, the current Ukrainian leadership, foreign minister, all other officials, and then president himself said that they don't like anything about the Minsk agreements. In other words, they were not going to implement it. A year or a year and a half ago, former leaders of Germany and France said openly to the whole world that they indeed signed the Minsk agreements, but they never intended to implement them. They simply led us by the nose.
Was there anyone for you to talk to? Did you call a U.S. President, Secretary of State, and say, if you keep militarizing Ukraine with NATO forces, this is going to get, we're going to act?
We talked about this all the time. We addressed the United States and European countries' leadership to stop these developments immediately, to implement the Minsk agreements. Frankly speaking, I didn't know how we were going to do this, but I was ready to implement them. These agreements were complicated for Ukraine. They included lots of elements of those Donbass territories' independence. That's true. However, I was absolutely confident, and I'm saying this to you now. I honestly believe that if we managed to convince the residents of Donbass, and we had to work hard to convince them to return to the Ukrainian statehood, then gradually the wounds would start to heal. When this part of territory reintegrated itself into common social environment, when the pensions and social benefits were paid again, all the pieces would gradually fall into place. No, nobody wanted that. Everybody wanted to resolve the issue by military force only. But we could not let that happen. And the situation got to the point when the Ukrainian side announced, no, we will not do anything. They also started preparing for military action. It was they who started the war in 2014. Our goal is to stop this war. And we did not start this war in 2022. This is an attempt to stop it.
Do you think you've stopped it now? I mean, have you achieved your aims?
No, we haven't achieved our aims yet, because one of them is denazification. This means the prohibition of all kinds of neo-Nazi movements. This is one of the problems that we discussed during the negotiation process, which ended in Istanbul early this year. And it was not our initiative, because we were told by the Europeans, in particular, that it was necessary to create conditions for the final signing of the documents. My counterparts in France and Germany said, how can you imagine them signing a treaty with a gun to their heads? The troops should be pulled back from Kiev. I said, all right. We withdrew the troops from Kiev. As soon as we pulled back our troops from Kiev, our Ukrainian negotiators immediately threw all our agreements reached in Istanbul into the bin and got prepared for a long-standing confrontation with the help of the United States and its satellites in Europe. That is how the situation has developed, and that is how it looks now.
But what is, pardon my ignorance, what is denazification? What would that mean? What is,
Да, вот я как раз хочу сейчас об этом сказать. Это очень важный вопрос.
That is what I want to talk about right now. It is a very important issue. Denazification. After gaining independence, Ukraine began to search, as some Western analysts say, its identity. And it came up with nothing better than to build this identity upon some false heroes who collaborated with Hitler. I have already said that in the early 19th century, when the theorists of independence and sovereignty of Ukraine appeared, they assumed that an independent Ukraine should have very good relations with Russia. But due to the historical development, those territories were part of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, Poland, where Ukrainians were persecuted and treated quite brutally, as well as were subject to cruel behavior. There were also attempts to destroy their identity. All this remained in the memory of the people. When World War II broke out, part of this extremely nationalist elite collaborated with Hitler, believing that he would bring them freedom. The German troops, even the SS troops, made Hitler's collaborators do the dirtiest work of exterminating the Polish and Jewish population. Hence this brutal massacre of the Polish and Jewish population, as well as the Russian population too. This was led by the persons who are well known, Bandera, Shukevich. It was those people who were made national heroes. That is the problem. And we are constantly told that nationalism and neo-Nazism exist in other countries as well. Yes, they are seedlings, but we uproot them, and other countries fight against them. But Ukraine is not the case. These people have been made into national heroes in Ukraine. Monuments to those people have been erected. They are displayed on flags. Their names are shouted by crowds that walk with torches, as it was in Nazi Germany.
Возводят. Они на флагах, они их имена кричат.
These were people who exterminated Poles, Jews, and Russians.
Это люди, которые уничтожали поляков, евреев и русских. Надо
It is necessary to stop this practice and prevent the dissemination of this concept. I say that Ukrainians are part of the one Russian people. They say, no, we are a separate people. Okay, fine. If they consider themselves a separate people, they have the right to do so, but not on the basis of Nazism, the Nazi ideology.
Would you be satisfied with the territory that you have now?
Нет, сейчас закончим. Вы же задали вопрос по неонацизму и денацификации.
We'll finish answering the question. You just asked a question about neo-Nazism and denazification.
Замалчивается назад.
Look, the president of Ukraine visited Canada. This story is well known, but being silenced in the Western countries.
Спикер парламента.
The Canadian Parliament introduced a man who, as the Speaker of the Parliament said, fought against the
Facts,
Russians
Tucker
during the
Carlson,
World
go.
War
Nick
II.
Fuentes coming next.
Well, who fought against the Russians during the World War II?
Big Tucker
Hitler
Carlson.
and his accomplices. It turned out that this man served in the SS troops. He personally killed Russians, Poles, and Jews. The SS troops consisted of Ukrainian nationalists who did this dirty work. The president of Ukraine stood up with the entire Parliament of Canada and applauded this man. How can this be imagined? The president of Ukraine himself, by the way, is a Jew by nationality.
Really, my question is, what do you do about it? I mean, Hitler's been dead for 80 years. Nazi Germany no longer exists. And so, true. And so, I think what you're saying is you want to extinguish or at least control Ukrainian nationalism, but how? How do you do that?
Послушайте, ваш вопрос очень тонкий.
Listen to me. Your question is very subtle, and I can tell you what I think. Do not take offense.
Of course.
Он, казалось бы, тонкий, он очень простой.
This question appears to be subtle. It is quite pesky.
Значит,
You say Hitler has been dead for so many years,
люди, которые
80 years.
уничтожали
But his example lives on. People who exterminated Jews, Russians, and Poles are alive. And the president, the current president of today's Ukraine, applauds him in the Canadian Parliament, gives a standing ovation. Can we say that we have completely uprooted this ideology if what we see is happening today? That is what denazification is in our understanding. We have to get rid of those people who maintain this concept and support this practice and try to preserve it. That is what denazification is. That is what we mean.
Right. My question was a little more specific. It was, of course, not a defense of Nazis, neo or otherwise. It was a practical question. You don't control the entire country. You don't control Kiev. You don't seem like you want to. So how do you eliminate a culture or an ideology or feelings or a view of history in a country that you don't control? What do you do?
А вы знаете, как по мне пока что странно, судя по переговорам в Стамбуле,
You know, as strange as it may seem to you, during the negotiations in Istanbul, we did agree that we have it all in writing. Neo-Nazism would not be cultivated in Ukraine, including that it would be prohibited at the legislative level. Mr. Carlson, we agreed on that. This, it turns out, can be done during the negotiation process. And there's nothing humiliating for Ukraine as a modern civilized state. Is any state allowed to promote Nazism? It is not, is it?
Oh.
That is it.
Will there be talks, and why haven't there been talks about resolving the conflict? These talks.
Они дошли до очень высокой стадии согласования позиций, сложно.
They have been. They reached a very high stage of coordination of positions in a complex process, but still they were almost finalized. But after we withdrew our troops from Kiev, as I have already said, the other side threw away all these agreements and obeyed the instructions of Western countries, European countries, and the United States to fight Russia to the bitter end. Moreover, the president of Ukraine has legislated a ban on negotiating with Russia. He signed a decree forbidding everyone to negotiate with Russia. But how are we going to negotiate if he forbade himself and everyone to do this? We know that he is putting forward some ideas about this settlement, but in order to agree on something, we need to have a dialogue. Is that not right?
Well, but you wouldn't be speaking to the Ukrainian president, you'd be speaking to the American president. When was the last time you spoke to Joe Biden?
I cannot remember when I talked to him. I do not remember. We can look it up.
You don't remember?
No. Why? Do I have to remember everything? I have my own things to do. We have domestic political affairs.
Well, he's funding the war that you're fighting, so I would think that would be memorable.
Well, yes, he funds, but I talked to him before the special military operation, of course. And I said to him then, by the way, I will not go into details, I never do, but I said to him then, I believe that you are making a huge mistake of historic proportions by supporting everything that is happening there, in Ukraine, by pushing Russia away. I told him repeatedly, by the way. I think that would be correct if I stop here.
What did he say?
Ask him, please. It is easier for you. You are a citizen of the United States. Go and ask him. It is not appropriate for me to comment on our conversation.
But you haven't spoken to him since before February of 2022.
No, we haven't spoken. Certain contacts are being maintained, though. Speaking of which, do you remember what I told you about my proposal to work together on a missile defense system?
Yes.
You can ask all of them. All of them are safe and sound, thank God. The former president, Condoleezza, is safe and sound, and I think Mr. Gates and the current director of the intelligence agency, Mr. Burns, the then ambassador to Russia, in my opinion, are very successful ambassador. They were all witnesses to these conversations. Ask them. Same here. If you are interested in what Mr. President Biden responded to me, ask him. At any rate, I talked to him.
I'm definitely interested, but from the outside, it seems like this could devolve or evolve into something that brings the entire world into conflict and could initiate a nuclear launch. And so why don't you just call Biden and say, let's work this out?
What's there to work out? It's very simple. I repeat. We have contacts through various agencies. I will tell you what we are saying on this matter and what we are conveying to the US leadership. If you really want to stop fighting, you need to stop supplying weapons. It will be over within a few weeks. That's it. And then we can agree on some terms. Before you do that, stop. What's easier? Why would I call him? What should I talk to him about? Or beg him for what?
And what messages do you get back?
You're going to deliver such and such weapons to Ukraine? Oh, I'm afraid, please don't. What is there to talk about?
Do you think NATO is worried about this becoming a global war or a nuclear conflict?
At least that's what they're talking about. And they're trying to intimidate their own population with an imaginary Russian threat. This is an obvious fact. And thinking people, not Philistines, but thinking people, analysts, those who are engaged in real politics, just smart people understand perfectly well that this is a fake. They're trying to fuel the Russian threat.
The threat I think you're referring to is a Russian invasion of Poland, Latvia, expansionist behavior. Can you imagine a scenario where you send Russian troops to Poland?
Только в одном случае, если со стороны...
Only in one case, if Poland attacks Russia. Why? Because we have no interest in Poland, Latvia, or anywhere else. Why would we do that? We simply don't have any interest. It's just threat-mongering.
Well, the argument, I know you know this, is that, well, he invaded Ukraine, he has territorial aims across the continent, and you're saying unequivocally you don't.
Абсолютно, это абсолютно исключено.
It is absolutely out of the question.
Никаким аналитиком.
You just don't have to be any kind of analyst. It goes against common sense to get involved in some kind of a global war.
Глобальная война поставить на грань.
And a global war will bring all humanity to the brink of destruction. It's obvious.
Вот. И есть, конечно, средства.
There are certainly means of deterrence. They have been scaring everyone, with us all along. Tomorrow Russia will use tactical nuclear weapons. Tomorrow Russia will use that. No, the day after tomorrow. So what?
Выбить из налогоплательщиков
In order to
США
extort additional money from US taxpayers and European taxpayers in the confrontation with Russia in the Ukrainian theater.
Grab some meat, get some starving to death. We'll be right back.
war. The goal is to weaken Russia as much as possible.
One of our senior United States senators from the state of New York, Chuck Schumer, said yesterday, I believe, that we have to continue to fund the Ukrainian effort, or U.S. soldiers, citizens, could wind up fighting there. How do you assess that?
Это провокация.
This is a provocation, and a cheap provocation at that.
Солдаты должны воевать.
I do not understand why American soldiers should fight in Ukraine. There are mercenaries from the United States there. The bigger number of mercenaries comes from Poland, with mercenaries from the United States in second place, and mercenaries from Georgia in third place.
Безусловно.
Well, if somebody has the desire to send regular troops, that would certainly bring humanity to the brink of very serious global conflict. This is obvious. Do the United States need this? What for?
Территории. У вас нечем заниматься.
Thousands of miles away from your national territory.
Границы.
Don't you have anything better to do? You have issues on the border, issues with migration, issues with the national debt. More than $33 trillion. You have nothing better to do, so you should fight in Ukraine? Wouldn't it be better to negotiate with Russia? Make an agreement, already understanding the situation that is developing today, realizing that Russia will fight for its interests to the end? And realizing this, actually return to common sense, start respecting our country and its interests, and look for certain solutions. It seems to me that this is much smarter and more rational.
Who blew up Nord Stream?
You for sure.
I was busy that day. Nate, do you have I did not blow up Nord Stream. Thank you, though.
У вас лично, может быть, есть алиби. У вас лично.
You personally may have an alibi, but the CIA has no such alibi.
Do you have evidence that NATO or the CIA did it?
Вы знаете,
You know, I won't get into details, but people always say in such cases, look for someone who is interested. But in this case, we should not only look for someone who is interested, but also for someone who has capabilities. Because there may be many people interested, but not all of them are capable of sinking to the bottom of the Baltic Sea and carrying out this explosion. These two components should be connected. Who is interested and who is capable of doing it.
But I'm confused. I mean, that's the biggest act of industrial terrorism ever, and it's the largest emission of CO2 in history. Okay, so if you had evidence, and presumably given your security services, your intel services, you would, that NATO, the US, CIA, the West, did this, why wouldn't you present it and win a propaganda victory?
в войне пропаганды.
In the war of propaganda, it is very difficult to defeat the United States, because the United States controls all the world's media and many European media. The ultimate beneficiary of the biggest European media are American financial institutions. Don't you know that? So it is possible to get involved in this work, but it is cost prohibitive, so to speak.
Мы можем
We can simply shine the spotlight on our sources of information, and we will not achieve results. It is clear to the whole world what happened, and even American analysts talk about it directly. It's true.
Yes, but here's a question you may be able to answer. You worked in Germany, famously. The Germans clearly know that their NATO partner did this, but it damaged their economy greatly. Why are they being silent about it? That's very confusing to me. Why wouldn't the Germans say something about it?
это тоже удивляет.
This also confuses me. But today's German leadership is guided by the interests of the collective West rather than its national interests. Otherwise, it is difficult to explain the logic of their action or inaction. After all, it is not only about Nord Stream 1, which was blown up, and the Nord Stream 2 was damaged. But one pipe is safe and sound, and gas can be supplied to Europe through it. But Germany does not open it. We're ready, please. There's another route through Poland, called Yamal Europe, which also allows for large flow. Poland has closed it, but Poland packs from the German hand. It receives money from the pan-European funds, and Germany is the main donor to these pan-European funds. Germany feeds Poland to a certain extent, and they close their route to Germany. Why? I don't understand. Ukraine, to which the Germans supply weapons and give money. Germany is the second sponsor of the United States in terms of financial aid to Ukraine. There are two gas routes through Ukraine. They simply closed one route, the Ukrainians. Open the second route and please get gas from Russia. They do not open it. Why don't the Germans say, look guys, we give you money and weapons, open up the valve, please, let the gas from Russia pass through for us.
Yes, sir.
We're buying liquefied gas at exorbitant prices in Europe, which brings the level of our competitiveness and economy in general down to zero. Do you want us to give you money? Let us have the decent existence. Make money for our economy, because this is where the money we give you comes from. They refuse to do so. Why? Ask them. That is what is like in their heads. Those are highly incompetent people.
Well, maybe the world is breaking into two hemispheres, one with cheap energy, the other without. And I want to ask you that. If we're now a multipolar world, obviously we are, can you describe the blocks of alliances? Who is in each side, do you think?
Послушайте, вы сказали, мир разделяется на...
Listen, you have said that the world is breaking into two hemispheres. A human brain is divided into two hemispheres.
одну сферу деятельности, другая более креативная.
One is responsible for one type of activities, the other one is more about creativity and so on. But it is still one and the same head. The world should be a single whole. Security should be shared rather than meant for the golden billion. That is the only scenario where the world could be stable, sustainable, and predictable. Until then, while the head is split in two parts, it is an illness, a serious adverse condition. It is a period of severe disease that the world is going through now. But I think that thanks to honest journalism, this work is akin to work of the doctors. This could somehow be remedied.
Well, let's just give one example, the US dollar, which has kind of united the world in a lot of ways, maybe not to your advantage, but certainly to ours. Is that going away as the reserve currency, the universally accepted currency? How have sanctions, do you think, changed the dollar's place in the world?
Знаете, это одна из грубейших
You know, to use the dollar as a tool of foreign policy struggle is one of the biggest strategic mistakes made by the US political leadership.
Это основа основ могущества США.
The dollar is the cornerstone of the United States power. I think everyone understands very well that no matter how many dollars are printed, they are quickly dispersed all over the world.
Приемлемо для США абсолютно.
Inflation in the United States is minimal. It's about 3 or 3.4%, which is, I think, totally acceptable for the US. But they won't stop printing. What does the debt of $33 trillion tell us about? It is about the emission.
Как только политическое руководство приняло решение использовать доллар в качестве инструмента,
Nevertheless, it is the main weapon used by the United States to preserve its power across the world. As soon as the political leadership decided to use the US dollar as a tool of political struggle, a blow was dealt to this American power. I would not like to use any strong language, but it is a stupid thing to do and a grave mistake.
Strong language, that's
Look at what is going on in the world. Even the United States allies are now downsizing their dollar reserves. Seeing this, everyone starts looking for ways to protect themselves. But the fact that the United States applies restrictive measures to certain countries, such as placing restrictions on transactions, freezing assets, etc., causes grave concern and sends a signal to the whole world. What did we have here? Until 2022, about 80% of Russian foreign trade transactions were made in US dollars and euros. US dollars accounted for approximately 50% of our transactions with third countries, while currently it is down to 13%. It wasn't us who banned the use of the US dollar. We had no such intention. It was decision of the United States to restrict our transactions in US dollars. I think it is complete foolishness from the point of view of the interests of the United States itself and its taxpayers, as it damages the US economy, undermines the power of the United States across the world. By the way, our transactions in yuan accounted for about 3%. Today, 34% of our transactions are made in rubles, and about as much, a little over 34% in yuan. Why did the United States do this? My only guess is self-conceit. They probably thought it would lead to full collapse, but nothing collapsed. Moreover, other countries, including oil producers, are thinking of and already accepting payments for oil in yuan. Do you even realize what is going on or not? Does anyone in the United States realize this? What are you doing? You are cutting yourself off. All experts say this. Ask any intelligent and thinking person in the United States what the dollar means for the US.
But
You're killing it with your own hands.
I think that's I think it's a fair assessment. The question is what comes next, and maybe you trade one colonial power for another, much less sentimentally forgiving colonial power. I mean, is the BRICS, for example, in danger of being completely dominated by the Chinese economy in a way that's not good for their sovereignty? Do you worry about that?
Well, we have heard those boogeyman stories before. It is a boogeyman story. We're neighbors with China. You cannot choose neighbors just as you cannot choose close relatives. We share a border of 1,000 kilometers with them. This is number one. Second, we have a centuries-long history of coexistence. We're used to it. Third, China's foreign policy philosophy is not aggressive. Its idea is to always look for compromise, and we can see that. The next point is as follows. We are always told the same boogeyman story, and here it goes again. Through an euphemistic form, but it is still the same boogeyman story. The cooperation with China keeps increasing. The pace at which China's cooperation with Europe is growing is higher and greater than that of the growth of Chinese-Russian cooperation. Ask Europeans, aren't they afraid? They might be, I don't know. But they are still trying to access China's market at all costs, especially now that they are facing economic problems. Chinese businesses are also exploring the European market. Do Chinese businesses have small presence in the United States? Yes, the political decisions are such that they are trying to limit their cooperation with China.
This is Retry
It is to your own detriment, Mr. Tucker, that you are limiting cooperation with China. You are hurting yourself. It is a delicate matter, and there are no silver bullet solutions, just as it is with the dollar. So, before introducing any illegitimate sanctions, illegitimate in terms of the Charter of the United Nations, one should think very carefully. For decision makers, this appears to be a problem.
So you said a moment ago that the world would be a lot better if it weren't broken into competing alliances, if there was cooperation globally. One of the reasons you don't have that is because the current American administration is dead set against you. Do you think if there were a new administration after Joe Biden that you would be able to reestablish communication with the U.S. government? Or does it not matter who the president is?
Сейчас скажу, но чтобы закончить предыдущий вопрос.
I will tell you. But let me finish the previous thought. We, together with my colleague and friend, President Xi Jinping, set a goal to reach $200 billion of mutual trade with China this year. We have exceeded this level. According to our figures, our bilateral trade with China totals already $230 billion, and the Chinese statistics says it is $240 billion. One more important thing. Our trade is well balanced, mutually complementary in high-tech, energy, scientific research and development. It is very balanced. As for BRICS, where Russia took over the presidency this year, the BRICS countries are, by and large, developing very rapidly. Look, if memory serves me right, back in 1992, the share of the G7 countries in the world economy amounted to 47%, whereas in 2022 it was down to, I think, a little over 30%. The BRICS countries accounted for only 16% in 1992, but now their share is greater than that of the G7. It has nothing to do with the events in Ukraine. This is due to the trends of global development and world economy, as I mentioned just now. And this is inevitable. This will keep happening. It is like the rise of the sun. You cannot prevent the sun from rising. You have to adapt to it. How do the United States adapt? With the help of force, sanctions, pressure, bombings, and use of armed forces. This is about self-conceit. Your political establishment does not understand that the world is changing under objective circumstances. And in order to preserve your level, even if someone aspires, pardon me, to the level of dominance, you have to make the right decisions in a competent and timely manner. Such brutal actions, including with regard to Russia and, say, other countries, are counterproductive. This is an obvious fact. It has already become evident. You just asked me if another leader comes and changes something. It is not about the leader. It is not about the personality of a particular person. I had a very good relationship with, say, Bush. I know that in the United States, he was portrayed as some kind of a country boy who does not understand much. I assure you that this is not the case. I think he made a lot of mistakes with regard to Russia, too. I told you about 2008 and the decision in Bucharest to open the NATO's doors for Ukraine and so on. That happened during his presidency. He actually exercised pressure on the Europeans. But in general, on a personal human level, I had a very good relationship with him. He was no worse than any other American or Russian or European politician. I assure you, he understood what he was doing as well as others. I had such personal relationship with Trump as well. It is not about the personality.
the fuck does it take so long to open this door for? Oh my god. I could just break that shit now. Wow, the fucking 8-year-long animation to open the door is crazy. Bro fucking spent 10 years to push the door open. Shit like that I don't understand.
Quality of the leader. It is about the elite's mindset.
Man doesn't know how to fucking open a door. It's what door?
If the idea of domination at any cost, based also on forceful actions, dominates the American society, nothing will change. It will only get worse. But if, in the end, one comes to the awareness that the world has been changing due to the objective circumstances, and that one should be able to adapt to them in time, using the advantages that the US still has today, then perhaps something may change. Look, China's economy has become the first economy in the world in purchasing power parity. In terms of volume, it overtook the US a long time ago. The USA comes second, then India, 1.5 billion people, and then Japan, with Russia in the 5th place. Russia was the first economy in Europe last year, despite all the sanctions and restrictions. Is it normal from your point of view? Sanctions, restrictions, impossibility of payments in dollars, being cut off from SWIFT services, sanctions against our ships carrying oil, sanctions against airplanes, sanctions in everything, everywhere. The largest number of sanctions in the world which are applied against Russia. And we have become Europe's first economy during this time. The tools that US uses don't work. Well, one has to think about what to do. If this realization comes to the ruling elites, then yes, then the first person of the state will act in anticipation of what the voters and the people who make decisions at various levels expect from this person. Then maybe something will change.
You're describing two different systems. You say the leader acts in the interest of the voters, but you also say these decisions are not made by the leader, they're made by the ruling classes. You've run this country for so long, you've known all these American presidents. What are those power centers in the United States, do you think? Like, who actually makes the decisions?
I don't know. America is a complex country. Conservative on one hand, rapidly changing on the other. It's not easy for us to sort it all out.
What the fuck is there a mist down here now?
Who makes decisions in the elections? Is it possible to understand this when each state has its own legislation? Each state regulates itself? Someone can be excluded from elections at the state level. It is a two-stage electoral system. It is very difficult for us to understand it. Certainly there are two parties that are dominant, the Republicans and the Democrats. And within this party system, the centers that make decisions, that prepare decisions. Then, look, why, in my opinion, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, such an erroneous, crude, completely unjustified policy of pressure was pursued against Russia? After all, this is a policy of pressure. NATO expansion, support for the separatists in Caucasus, creation of a missile defense system. These are all elements of pressure. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Then, dragging Ukraine into NATO is all about pressure, pressure, pressure. Why? I think, among other things, because excessive production capacities were created. During the confrontation with the Soviet Union, there were many centers created and specialists on the Soviet Union who could not do anything else. They convinced the political leadership that it is necessary to continue chiseling Russia, to try to break it up, to create on this territory several quasi-state entities, and to subdue them in a divided form, to use their combined potential for the future struggle with China. This is a mistake, including the excessive potential of those who worked for the confrontation with the Soviet Union. It is necessary to get rid of this. There should be new, fresh forces, people who look into the future and understand what is happening in the world. Look at how Indonesia is developing. 600 million people. Where can we get away from that? Nowhere. We just have to assume that Indonesia will enter, it is already in, the club of the world's leading economies, no matter who likes it or dislikes it. Yes, we understand and are aware that in the United States, despite all the economic problems, the situation is still normal, with the economy growing decently. The GDP is growing by 2.5%, if I'm not mistaken. But if we want to ensure the future, then we need to change our approach to what is changing. As I already said, the world would nevertheless change, regardless of how the developments in Ukraine end. The world is changing. In the United States themselves, experts are writing that the United States are nonetheless gradually changing their position in the world. It is your experts who write that. I just read them. The only question is how this would happen, painfully and quickly, or gently and gradually. And this is written by people who are not anti-American. They simply follow global development trends. That's it. And in order to assess them and change policies, we need people who think, look forward, can analyze and recommend certain decisions at the level of political leaders.
I just have to ask, you've said clearly that NATO expansion eastward is a violation of the promise you all were made in 1990. It's a threat to your country. Right before you sent troops into Ukraine, the Vice President of the United States went to the Munich Security Conference and encouraged the President of Ukraine to join NATO. Do you think that was an effort to provoke you into military action?
I repeat once again, we have repeatedly proposed to seek a solution to the problems that arose in Ukraine after 2014 coup d'etat through peaceful means. But no one listened to us. And moreover, the Ukrainian leaders who were under the complete US control suddenly declared that they would not comply with the Minsk agreements. They disliked everything there and continued military activity in that territory. And in parallel, that territory was being exploited by NATO military structures under the guise of various personnel training and retraining centers. They essentially began to create bases there, that's all. Ukraine announced that the Russians were a non-titular nationality, while passing the laws that limit the rights of non-titular nationalities in Ukraine. Ukraine, having received all these southeastern territories as a gift from the Russian people, suddenly announced that the Russians were a non-titular nationality in that territory. Is that normal? All this put together led to the decision to end the war that neo-Nazis started in Ukraine in 2014.
Do you think Zelensky has the freedom to negotiate a settlement to this conflict?
I don't know the details. Of course, it's difficult for me to judge. But I believe he has, in any case, he used to have. His father fought against the fascists, Nazis, during World War II. I once talked to him about this. I said, Volodya, what are you doing? Why are you supporting neo-Nazis in Ukraine today, while your father fought against fascism? He was a frontline soldier. I will not tell you what he answered. This is a separate topic, and I think it's incorrect for me to do so. But as to the freedom of choice, why not? He came to power on the expectations of Ukrainian people that he would lead Ukraine to peace. He talked about this. It was thanks to this that he won the elections overwhelmingly. But then, when he came to power, in my opinion, he realized two things. Firstly, it is better not to clash with neo-Nazis and nationalists, because they are aggressive and very active. You can expect anything from them. And secondly, the US-led West supports them and will always support those who antagonize with Russia. It is beneficial and safe. So he took the relevant position despite promising his people to end the war in Ukraine. He deceived his voters.
But do you think at this point, as of February 2024, he has the latitude, the freedom to speak with you or your government directly about putting an end to this, which clearly isn't helping his country or the world? Can he do that, do you think?
А почему нет?
Why not? He considers himself head of state. He won the elections. Although we believe in Russia that the coup d'etat is the primary source of power for everything that happened after 2014. And in this sense, even today government is flawed. But he considers himself the president, and he is recognized by the United States, all of Europe, and practically the rest of the world in such a capacity. Why not? Can. We negotiated with Ukraine in Istanbul. We agreed. He was aware of this. Moreover, the negotiation group leader, Mr. Artemia is his last name, I believe still heads the faction of the ruling party, the party of the president in the Rada. He still heads the presidential faction in the Rada, the country's parliament. He still sits there. He even put his preliminary signature on the document prior to television. But then he publicly stated to the whole world, we were ready to sign this document, but Mr. Johnson, then the Prime Minister of Great Britain, came and dissuaded us from doing this, saying it was better to fight Russia. They would give everything needed for us to return what was lost during the clashes with Russia. And we agreed with this proposal. Look, his statement has been published. He said it publicly. Can they return to this or not? The question is, do they want it or not?
Еще господин президент
Further on, President of Ukraine issued a decree prohibiting negotiations with us.
Ну пусть он отменит.
Let him cancel that
Мы же не
decree,
отказывались.
and that's it. We have never refused negotiations,
И
indeed.
мы не отказывались.
We hear all the time, is Russia ready?
Лично отказались.
Yes, we have not refused. It was them who publicly refused. Well, let him cancel his decree and enter into negotiations. We have never refused. And the fact that they obeyed the demand or persuasion of Mr. Johnson, former Prime Minister of Great Britain, seems ridiculous and very sad to me. Because, as Mr. Arakamiya put it, we could have stopped those hostilities with war a year and a half ago already. But the British persuaded us and we refused this. Where is Mr. Johnson? And the war continues.
That's a good question. Where do you think he
Bro,
is and
I'm
why?
blocking. What the fuck else can
Hell knows. I don't understand it myself.
Что Россию можно победить на поле.
There was a general starting point. For some reason, everyone had the illusion that Russia could be defeated on the battlefield.
От чистого сердца, но
Because of arrogance, because of a pure heart, but not because of a great mind.
You've described the connection between Russia and Ukraine. You've described Russia itself a couple of times as orthodox. That's central to your understanding of Russia. You said you're orthodox. What does that mean for you? You're a Christian leader by your own description. So what effect does that have on you?
You know, as I already mentioned, in 988, Prince Vladimir himself was baptized following the example of his grandmother, Princess Olga. And then he baptized his squad. And then, gradually, over the course of several years, he baptized all the Rus. It was a lengthy process, from pagans to Christians. It took many years. But in the end, this orthodoxy, Eastern Christianity, deeply rooted itself in the consciousness of the Russian people.
когда Россия расширялась,
When Russia expanded and absorbed other nations who profess Islam, Buddhism, and Judaism, Russia has always been very loyal to those people who profess other religions. This is her strength. This is absolutely clear. And the fact is that the main postulates, main values are very similar. not to say the same, in all world religions I've just mentioned, then which are the traditional religions of the Russian Federation, Russia.
Российской Федерации, России.
By the way, Russian authorities were always very careful about the culture and religion of those people who came into the Russian Empire.
Вот. Это все.
This, in my opinion, forms the basis of both security and stability of the Russian statehood. All the peoples inhabiting Russia basically consider it their motherhood. If, say, people move over to you or to Europe from Latin America, an even clearer and more understandable example, people come, but yet they have come to you or to European countries from their historical homeland. And people who profess different religions in Russia consider Russia their motherland. They have no other motherland. We are together. This is one big family, and our traditional values are very similar. I've just mentioned one big family, but everyone has his, her own family. And this is the basis of our society. And if we say that the motherland and the family are specifically connected with each other,
Если мы говорим, что родина и семья
it is indeed the case, since it is impossible to ensure a normal future for our children and our families unless we ensure a normal, sustainable future for the entire country, for the motherland.
устойчивое будущее для нас.
That is why patriotic sentiment is so strong in Russia.
But can I say that the one way in which the religions are different is that Christianity is specifically a nonviolent religion. Jesus says, turn the other cheek, don't kill. How can a leader who has to kill of any country, how can a leader be a Christian? How do you reconcile that to yourself?
Yes, sir.
Очень легко. Если речь идет о защите себя и своих.
It is very easy when it comes to protecting oneself and one's family, one's homeland. We won't attack anyone.
С переворота. Сначала боевики.
When did the developments in Ukraine start?
Вот с чего.
Since the coup d'etat and the hostilities in Donbass began, that's when they started. And we're protecting our people, ourselves, our homeland, and our future.
Она не во внешних проявлениях, не в том, чтобы
As for religion in general,
или бить головой в пол.
you know, it's not about external manifestations. It's not about going to church every day or banging your head on the floor.
Человек ориентированный. И
It is in the heart. And our culture is so human-oriented.
гений.
Dostoevsky, who was very well known in the West and the genius of Russian culture, Russian literature, spoke a lot about this, about the Russian soul.
Русский человек, российский человек, он думает больше о вечном, он думает больше о ценности.
After all, Western society is more pragmatic. Russian people think more about the eternal, about moral values. I don't know, maybe you won't agree with me, but Western culture is more pragmatic after all.
Возможность вот сегодняшнему
I'm not saying this is bad. It makes it possible for today's golden billion to achieve good success in production, even in science and so on.
что мы вроде как выглядим одинаково, но
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that we kind of look the same, but our
Well,
minds
so
are
do you
built a
see
little
the
different.
supernatural at work as you look out across what's happening in the world now? Do you see God at work? Do you ever think to yourself, these are forces that are not human?
да нет, я, честно говоря, так не думаю. Я думаю о том, что
No, to be honest, I don't think so.
развивается вот по своим внутренним.
My opinion is that the development of the world community is in accordance with the inherent laws, and those laws are what they are.
Так было всегда в истории человечества.
It's always been this way in the history of mankind. Some nations and countries rose, became stronger and more numerous, and then left the international stage, losing the status they had accustomed to.
Не нужно приводить примеры. Но начиная
There's probably no need for me to give examples, but we could start with the Genghis Khan and horde conquerors, the Golden Horde, and then end with the Roman Empire.
Человечество каждому
It seems that there has never been anything like the Roman Empire in the history of mankind.
читал, варваров постепенно накапливалось.
Nevertheless, the potential of the barbarians gradually grew, as did their population. In general, the barbarians were getting stronger and begun to develop economically, as we would say today.
Экономически они стали укрепляться.
This eventually led to the collapse of the Roman Empire and the regime imposed by the Romans. However, it took 5 centuries for the Roman Empire to fall apart. The difference with what is happening now
Процессы изменения.
is that all the processes of change are happening at a much faster pace than in Roman times.
So when does the AI empire start, do you think?
У меня все более
You're
сложные.
asking increasingly more complicated questions. To answer them, you need to be an expert in big numbers, big data, and AI. Mankind is currently facing many threats. Due to the genetic researches, it is now possible to create a superhuman, a specialized human being, a genetically engineered athlete, scientist, military man. There are reports that Elon Musk has already had a chip implanted in the human brain in the USA.
Илон Маск внедрил уже чип в мозг какого-то человека.
What do you think of that?
Ну, Маска, я думаю, что Маска
Well, I think there's no stopping Elon Musk. He will do as he sees fit. Nevertheless, you need to find some common ground with him, search for ways to persuade him. I think he's a smart person, I truly believe he is. So you need to reach an agreement with him because this process needs to be formalized and subjected to certain rules.
того, что будет происходить с ним, в связи с развитием вот этих новейших исследований и технологий.
Humanity has to consider what is going to happen due to the newest development in genetics
Поэтому
or in AI. One can make an approximate prediction of what will happen.
угрозы своему существованию от ядерного оружия все начали обладать
Once mankind felt an existential threat coming from nuclear weapons, all nuclear nations began to come to terms with one another since they realized the negligent use of nuclear weaponry could drive humanity to extinction.
искусственного интеллекта, либо генетики, либо еще каких-то современных направлений, остановить которые
It
невозможно.
is impossible to stop research in genetics or AI today, just as it was impossible to stop the use of gunpowder back in the day.
Эти исследования все равно будут. Но когда человечество почувствует угрозу для себя,
But as soon as we realize that the threat comes from unbridled and uncontrolled development of AI, or genetics, or any other field, the time will come to reach an international agreement on how to regulate these things.
I appreciate all the time you've given us. I just got to ask you one last question, and that's about someone who's very famous in the United States, probably not here, Evan Gershkovich, who's the Wall Street Journal reporter. He's 32, and he's been in prison for almost a year. This is a huge story in the United States, and I just want to ask you directly, without getting into the details of it or your version of what happened, if as a sign of your decency, you would be willing to release him to us and we'll bring him back.
мы столько сделали жестов доброй воли, что, мне кажется, мы исчерпали все линии.
We have done so many gestures of goodwill out of decency that I think we have run out of them.
Ни разу не сделали. Но
We have never seen anyone reciprocate to us in a similar manner.
что мы
However, in theory, we can say that we do not rule out that we can do that
отмечаем того, что мы можем это
if our
сделать,
partners take reciprocal steps.
встречном движении со стороны наших
When I talk about the partners, I first of all refer to special services.
представителей специальных служб.
Special services are in contact with one another, they are talking about the matter in question.
На то, чтобы не решить это
There is no taboo to settle this issue. We are willing to solve it.
на условиях, которые
But there are certain terms being discussed via special services channels.
канала можно
I believe an agreement can be reached.
So typically, I mean, this stuff has happened for obviously centuries. One country catches another spy within its borders, it trades it for one of its own intel guys in another country. I think what makes, and it's not my business, but what makes this different is the guy's obviously not a spy, he's a kid. And maybe he was breaking your law in some way, but he's not a super spy, and everybody knows that. And he's being held hostage in exchange, which is true. With respect, it's true, and everyone knows it's true. So maybe he's in a different category. Maybe it's not fair to ask for somebody else in exchange for letting him out. Maybe it degrades Russia to do that.
Вы знаете, ну, можно как угодно говорить, что такое шпион, что не шпион.
You know, you can give different interpretations to what constitutes a spy, but there are certain things provided by law. If a person gets secret information and does that in a conspiratorial manner, then this is qualified as espionage. And that is exactly what he was doing. He was receiving classified, confidential information, and he did it covertly. Maybe he did that out of carelessness or his own initiative. Considering the sheer fact that this is qualified as espionage, the fact has been proven as he was caught red-handed when he was receiving this information. If it had been some far-fetched excuse, some fabrication, something not proven, it would have been a different story then. But he was caught red-handed when he was secretly getting confidential information. What is it then?
But are you suggesting that he was working for the US government or NATO, or he was just a reporter who was given material he wasn't supposed to have? Those seem like very different things.
Я не знаю, на кого он работал. Но повторяю еще.
I don't know who he was working for. But I would like to reiterate that getting classified information in secret is called espionage. And he was working for the US Special Services. Some other agencies. I don't think he was working for Monaco, as Monaco is hardly interested in getting that
This
information.
castle is isolated.
It is up to special services to come to an
Nonetheless,
agreement.
you must forge on to
Some
bring an
groundwork
end to
has
your
been
journey
laid.
and
There are
mine.
people who, in our view, are not connected with special services. Let me tell you a story about a person serving a sentence in an allied country of the US. That person, due to patriotic sentiments, eliminated a bandit in one of the European capitals.
Во время событий на Кавказе, знаете, что
During the events in the Caucasus, do you know what he was doing?
хочется говорить, но тем не менее.
I don't want to say that, but I will do it anyway. He was laying our soldiers, taken prisoner, on the road and then drove his car over their heads. What kind of person is that? Can he even be called human?
Нашелся патриот, который ликвидировал его в одной из этих.
But there was a patriot who eliminated him in one of the European capitals. Whether he did it of his own volition or not, that is a different question.
Yeah, but Evan Gershkovich didn't do that. I mean, that's a completely different. He's a
Да, он не-
32-year-old.
He committed something different.
Да, ну, я повторяю.
He's not just a journalist. I reiterate, he's a journalist who was secretly getting confidential information. Yes, it is different, but still, I'm talking about other people who are essentially controlled by the US authorities, wherever they are serving a sentence. There is an ongoing dialogue between the special services. This has to be resolved in a calm, responsible, and professional manner. They're keeping in touch, so let them do their job. I do not rule out that the person you refer to, Mr. Gershkovich, may return to his motherland. By the end of the day, it does not make any sense to keep him in prison in Russia. I want the US Special Services to think about how they can contribute to achieving the goals our special services are pursuing. We are ready to talk. Moreover, the talks are underway. And there have been many successful examples of these talks crowned with success. Probably this is going to be crowned with success as well. But we have to come to an agreement.
President, thank you.
Мне тоже.
I also want him to return to his home at last. I'm absolutely sincere. But let me say once again, the dialogue continues. The more public we render things of this nature, the more difficult it becomes to resolve them. Everything has to be done in calm manner.
I wonder if that's
That's
true
right,
with the war, though. Also, I mean, I guess I want to ask one more question, which is, and maybe you don't want to say so for strategic reasons, but are you worried that what's happening in Ukraine could lead to something much larger and much more horrible? And how motivated are you just to call the U.S. government and say, let's come to terms?
Послушайте, я же сказал.
I already said that we did not refuse to talk. We're willing to negotiate. It is the Western side, and Ukraine is obviously a satellite state of the US. It is evident. I do not want you to take it as if I'm looking for a strong word or an insult, but we both understand what is happening. The financial support, 72 billion US dollars, was provided. Germany ranks second, then other European countries come.
Огромный поток идет.
Dozens of billions of US dollars are going
course,
to
yeah.
Ukraine.
Конечно, поэтому
There's a huge influx of weapons.
скажите,
In this case, you should tell the current Ukrainian leadership to stop and come to negotiating table, rescind this absurd decree. We did not refuse.
Sure, but you already said it. I didn't think you meant it as an insult because you already said correctly. It's been reported that Ukraine was prevented from negotiating a peace settlement by the former British Prime Minister acting on behalf of the Biden administration. So, of course, they're a satellite. Big countries control small countries. That's not new. And that's why I asked about dealing directly with the Biden administration, which is making these decisions, not President Zelensky of Ukraine.
если администрация Зеленского в Украине отказалась от переговоров, я
Well, if the Zelensky administration in Ukraine refused to negotiate, I assume they did it under the instruction from Washington. If Washington believes it to be the wrong decision, let it abandon it. Let it find a delicate excuse so that no one is insulted. Let it come up with a way out.
пусть они
It was not us who made this decision, it was them. So let them go back on it. That is
Теперь мы
it.
должны искать выход из этого.
However, they made the wrong decision, and now we have to look for a way out of the situation to correct their mistakes. They did it, so let them correct it themselves. We support this.
So I just want to make sure I'm not misunderstanding what you're saying. I don't think that I am. I think you're saying you want a negotiated settlement to what's happening in Ukraine.
Правильно. Но мы
Right.
уже добились этого.
And we made it. We prepared a huge document in Istanbul that was initialed by the head of the Ukrainian delegation. He affixed his signature to some of the provisions, not to all of it. He put his signature and then he himself said, we were ready to sign it and the war would have been over long ago, 18 months ago. However, Prime Minister Johnson came, talked us out of it, and we missed that chance. Well, you missed it, you made a mistake. Let them get back to that, that is all. Why do we have to bother ourselves and correct somebody else's mistakes? I know one can say it is our mistake. It was us who intensified the situation and decided to put an end to the war that started in 2014 in Donbass, as I have already said, by means of weapons. Let me get back to furthering history. I already told you this. We were just discussing it. Let us go back to 1991, when we were promised that NATO would not expand, to 2008, when the doors to NATO opened to the declaration of state sovereignty of Ukraine, declaring Ukraine a neutral state. Let us go back to the fact that NATO and US military bases started to appear on the territory of Ukraine, creating threats to us. Let us go back to coup d'etat in Ukraine in 2014. It is pointless though, isn't it? We may go back and forth endlessly, but they stopped negotiations. Is it a mistake? Yes. Correct it. We are ready. What else is needed?
Do you think it's too humiliating at this point for NATO to accept Russian control of what was 2 years ago Ukrainian territory?
Я же сказал.
I said let them think how to do it with dignity. There are options if there is a will.
Но если желание.
Up until now, there has been the uproar and screaming about inflicting a strategic defeat on Russia on the battlefield.
Тактического поражения России, поражения.
Now they are apparently coming to realize that it is difficult to achieve, if possible at all. In my opinion, it is impossible by definition. It is never going to happen. It seems to me that now, those who are in power in the West have come to realize this as well.
Не пришли. Подумать.
If so, if the realization has set in, they have to think what to do next. We are ready for this dialogue.
Would you be willing to say, congratulations, NATO, you won, and just keep the situation where it is now?
Ну, вы знаете, это предмет переговоров.
You know, it is a subject matter for the negotiations. No one is willing to conduct, or, to put it more accurately,
Точнее сказать, хотят.
they're willing but do not know how to do it.
Я не только вижу,
I know they want
я
to.
знаю.
It is not just I see it, but I know they do want it. But they're struggling to understand how to do it. They have driven the situation to the point where we are at. It is not us who have done that. It is our partners, opponents who have done that. Well, now let them think how to reverse the situation. We're not against it. It would be funny if it were not so sad.
Да, было бы смешно, если бы не было так.
This endless mobilization in Ukraine, the hysteria, the domestic problems, sooner or later it will result in agreement.
Истерика, там, внутренние проблемы.
You know, this probably sounds strange given the current situation,
Все равно договорились. И
but the relations between the two peoples will be rebuilt anyway.
в нынешней ситуации прозвучит.
It will take a lot of time, but they will heal.
Между народами оставалось. Потребуется много времени.
I'll give you very unusual examples.
Совсем приведу вам необычный пример.
There is a combat encounter on the battlefield. Here's a specific example. Ukrainian soldiers got encircled. This is an example from real life.
Украинская
Our soldiers were shouting to them, "There is no chance. Surrender yourselves. Come out and you will be alive." Suddenly, the Ukrainian soldiers were screaming from there in Russian, perfect Russian, saying, "Russians, do not surrender." And all of them perished.
не сдаются.
They still identify themselves as Russian.
Они легко русскими слышат. В этом смысле то, что
What is happening is, to a certain extent, an element of a civil war. Everyone in the West thinks that the Russian people have been split by hostilities forever.
растащили.
No, they will be reunited. The unity is still there.
Воссоединение произойдет.
Why are the Ukrainian authorities dismantling the Ukrainian Orthodox Church?
Русскую православную церковь.
Because it brings together not only the territory, it brings together our souls. No one will be able to separate the soul. Shall we end here, or is there anything else?
No, I think that's great.
Спасибо.
Thank you, Mr. President. Free speech is bigger than any one person or any one organization. Societies are defined by what they will not permit. What we're watching is the total inversion of virtue.
Meet Asana, a work management platform that helps companies get more done and save more time. Teams can stay connected while they track updates and visualize timelines. Asana, a smarter way to work. Try it for free today at asana.com.
Something has to happen with Iran. There has to be some diplomatic bilateral communication there.
No, what has to happen is the containment of Iran.
History moves in one direction, right? Because of time?
Communism, Nazism, all of that was a regression from what was happening at, for example, the beginning of the 19th century and the 20th century.
In what way?
Do you think that today Donald Trump knows that he lost the election?
Absolutely.
So I don't.
This is one of the areas where when we get into this, I don't understand if there's like brain breaking happening or what's going on. I don't know what world we can ever live in where we say that Trump is less divisive for the country than Biden.
Joe Biden literally used the Occupational Safety and Hazard Administration to try to cram down vax mandates on 80 million Americans. That's insane.
What about supercalifragilistic? And then you're
What about pneumological microscopic?
or the science terms.
Yeah, exactly.
Or what about the 7,000 letter thing that's from part of biochemistry?
I got my education in the Soviet Union, so we just did math. I didn't learn any of this.
That's why you're a useful person.
Does body count matter? The following is a debate between Ben Shapiro and Destiny, each arguably representing the right and the left of American politics, respectively. They are two of the most influential and skilled political debaters in the world. This debate has been a long time coming, for many years. It's about 2.5 hours, and we could have easily gone for many more. And I'm sure we will. It is only round one. This is the Lex Friedman Podcast. To support it, please check out our sponsors in the description. And now, dear friends, here's Ben Shapiro and Destiny. Ben, you're conservative. Destiny, you're a liberal. Can you each describe what key values underpin your philosophy on politics and maybe life in the context of this left-right political spectrum? You want to go first?
Yeah. So I think that we have a huge country full of a lot of people, a lot of individual talents, capabilities. And I think that the goal of government, broadly speaking, should be to try to
We're told that success is all about making it on your own. But the truth is, nothing great gets done alone. That's why there's Shopify. Starting a business is an act of hope. For exchange, for community, for a better tomorrow.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Is this you?
Yeah, this is the Super Bowl commercial.
You're in a Super Bowl ad? Oh,
Yeah.
that's sick.
All right, who's introing us? Formal.
I already said none of it. And you were late, so you have to.
Okay, well that's a low blow because there's literally fuck yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Optic Podcast, episode 161. We do not have Hector here today. He is in Tokyo.
Yeah, what's he doing there? I saw him tweet that out.
I think he's going on a vacation.
Really?
Yeah, he said this is his first vacation. He took Liv and Jude. I hope he said all this. I don't know why he would hide it. But yeah, he took Liv and Jude. They're in Japan right now.
Yeah, that's cool.
That shit is lit. I mean, that's somewhere I've always wanted to visit.
Same.
That's on my bucket list of visiting. So Iz isn't home. Iz is gone for a week. I can't say where, but Iz is gone for a full week. I've had the house to myself, taking care of the pups.
By the way, you want to know something? Figure I'd get this off my chest now. I accidentally exposed where your wedding was going to be, but luckily my friends have 0 viewers. I was like, yeah, I'm going to so-and-so.
Oh, you were streaming?
I'm like, oh, y'all are streaming? I'm like, oh, my God.
Okay, well, now they're going to go look for it.
Well, what do you mean? They wouldn't know. Should I not?
Well, they're going to know
My
now.
bad, I didn't.
No,
I
it's
mean,
okay.
I don't know. Like, I don't tell people, but it's like, do people care? Like, I don't know.
It's not that secret. I just don't want
Yeah.
to know. But yeah, she's not here right now. She's over there. I've had the house to myself for 2 days. It's been a little bit weird. I've had to cook my own meals, let the dogs out on my own.
Sitting on your phone watching Drake videos.
Yeah, that. I mean, I was laying in bed when I saw it. I literally had just woke up.
Did I not look at it? Is it that?
It's
is
just
it that
him
bad?
laying in bed, flopping his cocker around.
Oh, he's playing with it.
Yeah,
He's playing with it. Oh, I didn't know he was
Like
playing
you
with
haven't
it.
seen it.
I haven't.
Don't act. You've seen it.
I saw it.
Yeah, I know.
I looked for it.
It just came out.
I searched for
I was
it.
in the car, and then I saw on Instagram, like, don't look why Drake isn't, and then I just, like, scrolled through the images, and it had, like, people's reactions, and
So
then
you
I came
have
to
seen
content.
it,
No,
see?
I didn't see the actual video. I saw the
People's
news about
reactions
it.
to the-
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to wake up to that. I kind of got my For You page. I mean, you never know what's gonna pop up. It's fucking.
nuts,
We were just talking about it. You could have cocks, butts,
Beheadings.
Everything. Porno.
shootings, fucking
Cats.
Dude.
anything could be
Yeah.
on the For You page. That's why I
time moving slow for you.
I usually am not on it, but today I woke up and
But
it was
we'll
already like,
we'll just when that update came out, it usually just puts you on the For You page when
That's
you go
what I'm
on
saying.
Twitter, and then like you're like, oh shit, I'm not even on my following. Like, and you go to the following, you're like, jeez, this is like more normal.
Yeah, way more normal. But yeah, a lot of shit's been happening, just on the internet. I mean, Drake's dong's been leaked. We've got
Yeah,
Aiden Ross and go ahead.
Let me ask you this, Will. What you think about the Apple Vision Pros?
Oh, I think it's fucking sick.
You're
I
gonna
think
get
it's-
them?
No, I didn't get them yet, but
Will you, though?
I don't even know if I'll get that. But I'm just imagining like what it's gonna be. Have you seen the videos of
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Like the Casey Neistat video?
Yeah.
Dude, just imagine. I saw one. I don't think you can actually do this stuff on the Apple Vision Pro, but it was like 10 separate videos of things that you could do. And it was like having a conversation with somebody in front of you and they speak a different language. And it's just automatically translating it on your
Whoa.
screen what they're saying.
Okay, that's crazy.
That would be
That-
fucking
that's
insane. You could just have a
pretty fucking-
conversation with somebody
Yeah,
speaking something.
yeah.
Like,
But
what else?
they
There was
wouldn't-
people watching like a Formula One race, and you look down, and you know, like the overhead of like the track, and you can see all the cars. It was like augmented reality, like on your desk, you'd see all the cars.
What?
There was another one where somebody was learning to play piano, and above it, it was like flowing down what keys you need
Like
to.
Guitar Hero?
Yes, like that.
Whoa.
So
Oh, so this shit's a glitch.
it's gonna
So-
be nuts. Once
How
they
much
can
is
fit
it?
that tech into like, imagine it's in your sunglasses.
Yeah.
They already have the sunglasses
Yeah.
that can take photos. Imagine all that tech, and all you have to do is.
Yeah.
I knew it was something was crazy because I saw this guy make shoes. His name's Cool Kai and shit. And he posted his like POV of it, and it was his hands, but
Of
it was
making
like
the
it looked
shoes?
like video game hands. It had his like jewelry on his wrist and everything. So I don't. Did it like normal? Like he didn't set that up inside of this.
No, I don't think so. I mean, when you're looking through it, you're not actually. It's like you're looking through a screen, and like the sensors on it are creating what you see. You're not
Yeah.
looking like straight through the headset.
Dude, that's
But
crazy.
yeah, it's gonna be nuts, bro.
I mean, yeah, that shit's crazy. See,
It's
I-
obviously weird. Like this is gonna be the worst
Yeah.
one ever.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would buy this one, but
That's
give
what I was
it
thinking
like
too.
give it 10 years, bro. It's gonna be
Ready Player One.
It's gonna be nuts.
Dude, imagine
Some
like
insane shit.
Shit, I can't wait for him to put them in glasses.
Yeah,
'Cause
glasses. is
I'm
probably
not gonna
next
walk
up.
around with those.
Yeah.
I'm not.
They're
ever
definitely trying
gonna
to
do
do that. The glasses thing.
I'm
Definitely.
never gonna walk around with that.
fucking.
Like,
Well,
I
somebody
can say
showed
that
the patent.
confidently. I will never walk around. Like, if
2000s
I'm walking through a city, I'm not putting that. Shit.
No, absolutely not. 2007 though, they patented the Apple Vision Pro. The same year the first iPhone came out, they had like the drawing. In the drawing, it was connected to an iPod, showed like the thing that would go on your face
Yeah, yeah.
and all the tech inside of it. So
They've
they've been
been
working
thinking
on
about it?
this shit since 2007.
That's
Imagine
crazy.
what they're working on right now for like 2040.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All the ideas and shit. So when,
Oh,
not
yeah.
even then, just by the time we get wiped out, what they're gonna be left over and the ideas they'll have. Shit.
I mean, it's
That's
some Black
crazy.
Mirror type shit.
It is. It actually is.
yeah.
We're getting
no,
closer and closer to. We're flying too close to the sun. It seems.
You love that fucking saying.
Huh?
You love that saying.
Fly too close to the sun. Don't be surprised when you get burned.
Call that one the first one.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, dead ass, dude.
I feel it.
We're literally turning into Wall-E. Remember all the people? Their bones all are fucked up, so they have to sit on their shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they get flown around. And I think they have like visors on, don't they? They have like shit in front of them. We're getting close to that.
I saw where a lot of people are returning theirs though, because you can't watch porn. Which obviously that's like the top of mind. Yeah, 3,500, and you try and it like blocks it out. It says like sensitive content. Apple doesn't allow.
For now.
Yeah,
For now.
Jailbreak.
for sure.
For now.
Wait,
Someone's working on that right now too, going crazy in like a basement.
Oh, someone found that out already. They figured
Someone's
that out.
loving it.
someone's literally at a desk probably right now with a literal,
Squat.
you know those, like
What a pussy
synthetic
squat.
butts. Like they literally are butts. They have a butt next to them. They got their Apple Visions and they got a screwdriver trying to tinker and get.
What? Trying to do what?
They're trying to tinker and get their shit.
Oh, dude, that was another thing they showed. Not real right now, but it will be. They had their Apple Vision Pro on or their tech or whatever, and they were looking at their girlfriend or wife, and it was like a deep fake app where you
Oh,
could go
no.
and just like swipe and change the face on them.
Oh my god.
Oh hell no.
It's gonna get fucking
That is
weird.
disrespectful.
It's gonna get
I mean, yeah. If you
Jumping!
Speaking candidly here, if you have your wife in front of you and you got
Bonfire
AI
starts like the
making her
prime
look like a
bonfire and the bright
different
sun kills
person,
the
that is
people.
insane. That is insane. That would never fly.
Next.
Ever.
Next. Discover the visual cover from the King.
It'll take a while, but
it's
coming.
We went down to see it, but this is what people are thinking about. Like, nobody cares about the fucking tech. Like,
Nah.
people want to see some fucking knockers. And they're using the Apple Vision Pros for it. That's sick, but you're getting it?
No, I don't think I'm gonna get this one.
You're gonna wait?
Yeah, I'm not really like, even when the iPhone first came out, I'm not like an early adopter. I wait until it's like built out a little bit, and I don't know, I'll give it a couple years. Version 3,
Yeah,
version
new
4,
iPhones
probably.
be expensive as hell. I mean, that shit's expensive.
How much is it? $4
grand.
3,500?
The Vision?
Yeah.
Is it that expensive?
I think it is.
Damn. Yeah, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. I don't even know what I'd use it for. Everything I just have my phone. It's like I feel like everything that you can use the Apple Vision Pro for now is
it's
on
like
your phone.
It is.
It's
It
just
reminds
in
me
a
about
more,
iPad and a.
Do not enter the
headset.
portal that he goes.
But then again, I'm kind of ignorant to it because I've done literally zero research on it. I just don't care enough. I see people get it. I'm not really too tech like.
I'd get a. Would you get a Cybertruck?
No.
You wouldn't?
I don't think so.
I don't like them.
Fuck with it. How expensive are they?
I don't even know. I haven't even looked.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure they're.
You see the video of the guy on the interstate where like somebody's filming it from another
got
car.
the-
He's got the Apple Vision Pro on. He's sitting there like,
Yeah, in the Cybertruck.
Really?
what a legend. It's weird, bro.
Going crazy.
Had
out
to join it. So.
All right, we've got Zin. Talking about Big Zin. Zin was actually just in New Mexico. We can't say for what, but yesterday was his 1 year retired. Best and worst thing about having Zin around.
Damn, was it really?
Yeah.
It's all good things.
Yeah, I agree. It's all good
I
things.
mean, I've been around since I was a kid, so it's like a little different. But
The only thing that I will
yeah, I
say,
love having Zin around.
the only thing I will say is that we eat way too much. Like when me and him are together, it's always
Eating
to go
good.
eat or drink or like just do something. That's my only negative, but it's still a positive because obviously I fucking love eating. I've been trying to lose weight. But yeah, congrats.
He's
to
always
Zin.
posting some crazy ass food.
I'm usually with him.
Is it just like around here, like downtown food mostly, or?
Well, we were just in Boston, downtown. We go to a lot of different places.
He's
we
got
ha-
the Italian spot. What's the Italian spot? Where's the chicken parm he's always posting?
From here?
Yeah.
I think that was Monarch, and that's like the really like high end. It's like 52 floors up.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's a nice one. Valentine's Day's coming up as well. I forgot. Valentine's Day's coming up very shortly.
Oh.
I'm a free agent, just letting y'all know. Anybody.
No baby mamas?
No baby mamas, none of that. Free agent. So, if any of y'all got maybe a sister or.
Oh, hell no.
I mean,
Where
what
you
you
going?
mean? There's nothing wrong with that.
Where you gonna take him?
They'll be taken care of.
Don't worry about it.
You're telling people on the pod to pimp their sisters to you? That's
No.
I mean,
They're not getting pimped. It's like Flavor Flav. It's like Flavor Flav.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Flavor Love.
But
Such
yeah,
a goody
Valentine's
show.
Day coming up.
Such a goody show.
Do y'all have anything special planned?
I don't think we're doing much this year.
Trying to have something special.
What a fucking squabble.
I got a nice res. I got a nice res lined up. I'm pretty excited for a new place we're trying. Can't
Where?
say.
You can't say
Not
where?
doxing myself, obviously.
Oh yeah.
On Valentine's Day, not trying to dox myself. That'd be insane. I'm trying to go out and enjoy a nice dinner. Usually people are very nice. I err on the side of
Open up
caution.
the first stone door on your right
On
and
that
head
type
up
of
the
stuff.
stairs.
Well, you ever been in Seattle? Don't go past.
First
Don't go on
stone
3rd
door
Street.
on my right.
3rd Street?
Yeah, in Seattle, don't go to 3rd Street. Don't go for the Ross
Wait,
for less.
what?
You just asking for it.
Never go to the
Asking.
You're asking.
You're asking for it.
Yeah, you are.
Yes.
You heard the story, right?
No.
Where Izzo was got stabbed.
Oh,
and
that
Ivan
was
got
there?
stabbed? Yeah.
Oh yeah, you showed me the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 3rd Street.
Yeah, off of 3rd Street.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
like it was like a block away from the Ross. And there was that girl that was like,
Those guys
and I was like, can we drive up a little more? Like he was about to let us out right next to her. Oh, dude, it was crazy. But what's up next? We got new rumors about COD Black Ops Gulf War. Can we click on them?
Read the fucking screen.
New rumors about Call of Duty 2024 Black Ops Gulf War campaign open world elements. What do we think about? Did you play the most recent campaign?
Yeah, I hate those missions particularly.
That's kind of what it was, right?
Yes,
Like open world.
It felt like you were dropping in the war zone instead of.
Yeah, I don't really like that very much. I didn't personally like it. I like the more linear, like.
Yeah.
You start the level. You hear the dialogue. Okay, we
And
gotta
you're at
go.
a place you've never seen before, like the first mission where you're at the prison and you're like breaking them out. That's like
That shit was
campaign.
cool.
Yeah.
That shit was super.
respawning is egregious.
But yeah, I didn't really like the open world elements very much. Campaign will have a fast travel system and vehicles. What are they trying to make this shit Far Cry?
That
Fast
sounds
travel? What, are they trying to make it Elden Ring? Like, what are we doing here? Raven Software is developing it. Adler will return October 2024.
Is that a character?
Yeah, I don't even know who Adler is, but all of that stuff.
How
is
did I
campaign
not
based.
kill you with the fucking
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest
explosion?
campaign
The
guy.
fire is garbage.
Yeah, I don't even
power
fire.
damage. Shit
Only
is
one I've ever
blood.
played was COD 4.
I played this one
know how
because
the
we
fuck I
hadn't had
didn't kill
COD
you.
for so long, it felt like, that I was like, it was during the off season, I was like, I'm gonna play it. Like, I'm gonna play it, take a day, play the campaign, fuck around, you know, like, but I didn't hate it. And I haven't played a COD campaign in a long time.
There were some good maps, like the ones that were meant to be like a campaign map. They were fun, but as like every other one was like a little, we're gonna drop you into Urzikstan and just blow up the helicopter.
Yeah. Matt, you just had your Halo season's kind of starting back up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me a little bit about what's going on.
That's funny.
We played a tourney.
Wait, what was that
Got
tournament? Because I didn't hear about it, but I knew.
There's
that-
just one every weekend. It's not like a big tournament. It's like a 2K.
Oh.
It's like a 2K.
Dude, people were in my
Is that
stream
actual-
acting like it was like the 25K fucking.
No.
They were like, "You're not gonna watch formal," and I was like, "Dude, I didn't even know there was a tournament today."
No, they're like 2Ks, and then at the end of the month there's like a 5K, but the 5K is way more important than all the 2Ks combined. So these are just practice. You don't have to watch it.
So is it just for seating?
Yeah, it's seating for the 5K, and then that's
5K
the
actually.
seating for Arlington. It's stupid.
Is the 5K pro points or prize
Pro
points?
points. I mean, there's a prize pool, but it's like fucking $100 each or something. Like it's like. You know,
So it's all for pride and practice. And,
it's just practice really and
I mean,
points.
people are tweaking.
Yeah, I mean Monsker won.
I
Like,
mean, he's been due.
He plays these things, and he's just a guaranteed ticket to the final with any roster he plays with. It's actually pretty insane.
Who is it?
I've never seen someone like that. Monster.
Wait, really?
Yeah, he literally plays with like any roster, and he gets to the final. And this time he won. But like he gets to the final no matter who he plays with. He plays with top 16 teams, top 12 teams. They just go to the final. They beat us, SSG. They beat FaZe. Like,
How is this a thing?
They just that guy.
dude beats me, bro. People thought he was cheating. He's not cheating.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. I don't think he's cheating.
Is he fucking yacked up?
I just think he's just like just a little in his own head at tournaments, you know, for lack of a better.
Whenever he gets on the stage, he starts overthinking shit. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen it happen, but who ended up winning it? SSG?
Yeah, him. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it. What's up next? We got a billionaire bank rolls the steroid Olympics.
Oh yeah, that sounds fucking dope.
What the fuck is this?
Everyone's allowed to dope. It's gonna be the biggest, baddest motherfuckers.
What?
Yeah, it's gonna be sick. You're allowed to use steroids.
I did not hear about this.
That's crazy.
Is it Peter Thiel? Who was it? I think it is.
What?
I was actually sick.
So random people are gonna be like, my fucking time.
Oh yeah.
I'm so fucking confused. So what are the sports they're playing?
Yeah, I don't know what
are
the
they
games
throwing
are.
javelins and shit, just
Bro,
jacked out of their minds?
Swimming, gymnastics,
Gymnastics?
weightlifting. What is that? Track and field. Oh, imagine.
And combat.
Combat.
Combat? Wait, combat is crazy.
It's so broad.
Dude,
Just combat.
Combat.
Anything goes.
It's such a
Think
good
about
idea.
if you're part like in that, you're like combat. You might start going like, this is fucking Royal Rumble.
It's like a gladiator pit,
Bro.
just weapons.
You just open the door and you're in a field and there's also 50 other motherfuckers.
Just other jacked motherfuckers.
At a skull.
Such
and
a
you
good
somehow
idea,
have
man.
to be the last man standing there just like...
Okay, unlike the Olympics where 44% of Olympians admit to using banned substances while only 1% get caught. So they said, fuck it.
So it's 1%.
If the real Olympians, and I say real, I don't mean it as disrespect, but the real Olympians are doping.
Yeah.
So let's just run with it. Let's let them all dope.
Does it say when it is? It's got to be at least a couple years in the making, right?
Well, this has to be like, this has to be like borderline though, because steroids are obviously really bad for you long term if you don't use them correctly, right? Like they can fuck your shit up.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure. Are they illegal? Yeah. You can't just.
I think they're illegal, bro.
Yeah, I don't
There's
think you
no
can
way.
just go buy steroids.
There's no way they could be illegal and then
And
put
do
on an
this?
event like
Yeah,
this,
that's
right?
true,
Like,
yeah.
Just everyone's allowed to take heroin.
It might be
yeah,
legal.
like,
Just go crazy.
It's the heroin ball. Like, what?
It might be legal where it's gone. Maybe.
Provide more details. April 17th. Okay, promote Paris during the Summer Olympics. Okay.
They're calling it the enhanced games. Oh yeah, dude, we're flying too close, man. We're flying too close to the sun. The enhanced games.
He loves that.
Next, they're gonna start putting robotics into people and shit. I'm
Wonder
telling
Woman
you.
a robot.
What was it? Alita? Alita, the last fucking. You seen that movie?
What?
Alita,
Oh yeah,
the
I have
Battle
seen that.
Angel.
I have seen that.
Oh, the Neuralink? He did put it in somebody's brain, right? Somebody did it already?
Yeah, what's going on with that guy?
Wait, I'm not done with
Is he
that.
tweeting
I'm
and
not
stuff?
done with that.
You telling everyone how he's feeling?
I haven't.
Is he alive? Yeah, is he awake?
I think we're thinking about this the wrong way.
The dope?
See, when I hear steroids, I think of just massive dudes.
Okay.
Like, just massive fucking, like...
Tell us more.
Like John Cena dudes, right? Like, level of massiveness.
Yeah.
I feel like this, though, I mean, they're not going to be, like, massive. It's going to be...
Yeah, like track and field, you can take stuff that just, you have so much endurance, like you literally don't run out of energy. So they're just running like 600 miles.
They get they get to their pit stop and they just pull their pants down. Somebody injects them in the ass, and smacks them on the ass real quick, and they just fucking like A-Train just right back at it again.
Guaranteed to blow up, bro. It'll be so good.
I'm so intrigued.
No way this ends well. There's just no way.
Someone's gonna, I mean, God forbid, but someone could have like a heart attack or something during it. Because if there's no
They're
limit,
gonna be like steroids. They're gonna be like, someone find me the fucking Pablo. No lie.
Dude, people are gonna be overdoing it so hard to try to win, especially if it's allowed.
This is not gonna end well.
Yeah,
There's just no way. There's no way there's a second annual enhanced games.
A one and done.
It's a one and done.
There's just no way.
900 athletes have expressed interest in participating in the enhanced games.
I'm right, they have.
Any interest, Will?
Right, they did, yeah.
Someone's been waiting for it.
Wow. All right, the enhanced games coming soon. I have something that I did not think I would see today. I cannot lie to you. Next up, we got to talk about the bowl. It's coming up. And last night, tell me how last night we're in the group chat. All of our
I
optic.
didn't get to really read, but yeah, break this down to me. What
All of our
after-
optic chat, right? So Paige texted. She's like, "What are we doing for the bowl?" Zinni's like, "I'm thinking Seth's house." Okay, so I haven't said anything. Like, Zinni said I mentioned it at dinner, which I don't remember, but he does. So I said, okay, I don't remember this, but that's fine. So the next thing Paige brings up is like, okay, well, we need food, because obviously Super Bowl party, two most important things, food, alcohol, right? Like, you just need them. It's a Super Bowl party. So Zinni gets mad that Paige is like, everyone should chip in, let's get a taco bar. So he offered my house up and then got pissed that he was going to have to pay like $20 for the taco bar.
Fucked up.
It doesn't make any sense. But we've got the Niners, we've got the Chiefs. It's the last football game for 7 months.
As he was called.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sad about it.
Who's the favorite?
Found the strength to
I don't
rule
even
his
know who the
people.
favorite is. I would say if I was going off just my opinion, I would say the Niners are probably favorited.
Yeah.
Can you pull up the favorite of this?
To face them.
Kansas City beat who last? The Bills? I think I watched a little bit of that game.
Beat the Ravens?
Yeah, no, they beat the Ravens.
Oh, the
They
Ravens?
beat the Bills Then the Ravens.
Oh, okay.
Wait, who did they play first though? The Chiefs, because they didn't have a bye. They played. Who did
We
they
have
beat
no
first?
need for two rulers.
The Texans? No, it wasn't the Texans.
Cowboys.
No, they're in the NFC. Who the fuck did the Chiefs beat in their first round? I don't know, but the Niners are favorites to defeat the Chiefs. What's the spread? Because the Niners are like the most stacked, probably the most stacked in terms of like talent positions in the league, like receivers, running back.
What's a running back?
Huh?
What's
Christian
the running back?
McCaffrey?
That
Guy's an absolute tank.
Dude, I saw a picture of him. It was so sick when he was a kid. Because you know his dad is Ed McCaffrey. He used to be the wide receiver for the Broncos, and it was like literally Ed McCaffrey. Or no, I think it was Shannon. Yeah, I think it was Shannon Sharp was like holding Christian McCaffrey as a kid. Because Shannon Sharp and Ed McCaffrey were teammates with the Broncos.
That's
and
crazy.
Super Bowl. They really are.
Ah, they beat the Dolphins. Fuck, did I not remember that?
They beat the Dolphins.
Dolphins, Bills, and then the Ravens.
Because the Bills won 20-17, or is that regular season?
That's regular season.
Okay.
And then they played. And then the Bills won 27. I can't believe the Chiefs beat the Ravens first off. I thought it was going to be a lock 49ers versus Ravens.
Already.
Yeah. That's the talk of the town.
You need T-Swift to go to the
You
ball.
She gotta go to the ball, then they win, and then she gets proposed to. Oh,
Wait, whoa.
Oh my God!
We actually
Not
imagine
even
the
ratings.
No, that's not even that. That's not even
not too
like-
far off.
That's not far
Not
off.
too far off.
I could dead ass see that. Like, I can actually see that shit happen.
I can see it now. I'm picturing it.
I mean, if you're Travis
One big bang after one. Isn't fucking
Like, how many more viewers is T-Swift bringing to a Super
Isn't
Bowl?
Patrick?
How many more viewers?
She literally
She got
has
proposed?
created She's fucking massive.
Do you think they're gonna let her not go to the Super Bowl?
She has created economic prosperity for certain cities that she went on in her tour. You think that she's not?
That's insane.
Dude, her fucking, her like minions. There's gonna be a lot. I bet there might be a huge spike in Super Bowl, like by 10-20% maybe.
Oh, the ratings are gonna go nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this the most Super Bowl ever?
Yeah. I think
By
so.
far?
Yep.
I think so.
What's the most viewed Super Bowl so far?
What do I look like?
I don't know, an almanac.
Oh, fuck it. Yeah, I think it's Mahomes. I don't know. If the Chiefs win, I might actually be a little skeptical.
What
I
of
might
the
be
rigging?
Why can't you cancel it?
It wouldn't sit right with me.
In real life, I
Mahomes
could
is an
easily
absolute
see that
tank.
shit is so wrong.
But in terms of like the teams, I mean, any
fake
given
ass game.
day, but it's not like the Chiefs are bad either. But
I was gonna say they're pretty good.
yeah, they're solid.
They've been in the last like 4 out of 5, 3 out of 4 or something.
They're solid. But I don't know. I thought the Ravens and the Niners were also are also super solid at pretty much every position. So
I didn't
we'll
know
see.
the Ravens were good.
They were insane.
They're really good.
They
Is it still
literally
Lamar Jackson?
yeah they played the
quarterback?
Niners in the regular season and smoked them.
Oh shit.
And like nobody was doing it. So yeah, we'll see. My prediction, I'm going Niners. I think the Niners are gonna win.
Me too.
Wouldn't surprise me if the Chiefs do end up winning, but I think the Niners are gonna win.
I'm gonna be rooting for the Chiefs. I want to see the fairy tale. Let's just see it. The
Just see what
proposal at the
happens.
end.
Isn't that one of Taylor Swift's songs, Fairy Tale?
That
Sounds
one-
like something.
Oh my God, yeah, it
That
is.
It's just hit.
It's a banger too.
They win. That
It's
shit
a
starts
banger.
playing.
Oh my
Kelsey
God.
hits a knee.
T-Swift fan go crazy.
It'd be a movie. It'd be an actual movie.
And the internet goes wild.
It'd be a movie.
Wait, who's the halftime this year? Usher? That's a weird one. I won't lie.
He's got a lot of good songs, though. That is a weird one.
That's like because he's like, I
He's
feel
a
like
little
he's like
older.
our generation.
He's a little older.
When we were growing up, Usher was like huge.
They might as well just have Taylor Swift in it.
And they never pay the people that play the Super Bowl. So what do you think? Taylor Swift's probably gonna like make an appearance during it.
What do you mean that you're getting your viewers?
Like they don't pay the people.
Do the people pay? Wait,
I don't
really?
think so.
They just want the exposure and
I
stuff?
mean, it
and
is.
views?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Can you pull up how many viewers were on the Super Bowl?
His ass is
It's like
I want to say it's like
over 100 million.
Yeah, about
maybe
100
more.
million.
Oh, really?
150.
Oh, what the fuck?
I mean, the only thing to view more than this probably.
My man had a weapon this whole time, man. What the fuck?
You should, yeah.
What is this funky ass shit? Poison should kill him. Come on, poison. Build up, build up, build up.
Tackle him.
Tackle him.
Point at Taylor in the sleep. Run over to Travis Kelce. Try to tackle him.
The poison's off my
Alright, so it.
15. Wait, what is this? I can't even.
All platforms.
Oh, you're on the left?
What's that? 126. Oh, that was
Wing
Patriots.
Atlanta?
And that was a
Comeback.
Oh, that was the comeback. That makes so much sense. But 115 million, like, yeah, you're doing that. I might pay them. I might pay them and say, who do you guys got?
Oh my god.
For this year, I'm going
Niners? Got three Niners for Chief? Three Niners, I'm not talking Drake. Alright, reaction. Huh?
No, tell me. No, I'm back there.
Yeah, well, I heard Niners.
Yes, sir. It is over for your ass.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Is this you?
Yeah, this is the Super Bowl commercial.
You're in a Super Bowl ad? Oh,
Yeah.
that's sick.
And I just want to say, first off, I fucking love both of the people in the commercial with Aubrey Plaza and Nick Offerman.
Wait, Nick Offerman. You're talking about
Trash.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
The guy that's like always stone faced. He's like,
Yeah.
it's Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
The big ass
dude,
stash.
that's incredible.
So they made me shave my stash because he had a
So,
stash.
like-
and they didn't want like hella stashes.
Too many stashes?
They said the director said too many stashes.
Nice.
One you just got to shave, and I mean obviously I'm losing that one.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, and
That's incredible.
Wait, run it.
yeah. run it.
America's
Well
sweetheart.
met, friend.
I just love
Good to
having
see you
a
well.
blast.
Yes.
Not do Baja Blast. Kids party?
I
Having a
journeyed
blast.
from the
Tucking in
distant
elevator?
east to perfect my swordsmanship. Legend has it
Winning.
that powerful beings slumber in this.
There he was.
Me already.
Did you even see me?
Wait, were you the streamer at the top right?
Wait, was it you in the middle too, or on the top right?
No, the top right.
Oh,
There's
okay.
Offerman.
Oh, that's
Any man, man.
Can we get a freeze frame?
Yeah, it's quick. It's quick. You gotta really pay attention.
Yeah.
Bang, there he is.
There we go. Come on.
Wait,
now.
are those real accounts? No.
Hell no.
Wait, that's sick.
You
That's
think they're gonna have
incredible.
like Tiff and all my
yeah.
mods?
Wait, that's sick.
That is dope.
But yeah, it's quick though. It's quick. You gotta really be locked in.
That's
It's
okay.
okay. People are gonna still tweet the picture.
Yeah.
No!
Yeah, no, I'm
No,
not.
no,
I'm
no,
not.
no, no,
It's
no.
not
I
only
sneezed.
that
I
take
fucking
to-
sneezed.
For
I
my part,
sneezed.
For that little fucking like half a second, it took like an hour and a half, 2 hours. But with camera,
That's crazy.
You just had to keep saying that over and over.
I had to do like a bunch of different takes.
Wait, so you did it like remotely, or
Yeah,
did they
yeah.
come to your?
Yeah, it's my house. Yeah, so I did it like I probably did like 200 different takes.
Mad glint in their eyes.
And they used the one with the optic gaming. We were worried about that because we were doing ones without optic gaming and then ones with optic gaming, and they used the one with optic gaming. So
That's good.
Wow. Get a double. Get scum.
there it is.
Is that who? Her name's what is it? Audrey.
Aubrey.
Aubrey.
Is it
Plaza.
Aubrey or Audrey?
I recognize her for something. I can't remember what she.
It's Aubrey, right? Aubrey.
She played in something. I
Player.
watched.
Could have wore scum merch.
What is she now? When you look that up, it's like bothering me.
Build a brand, build yourself.
You know what I'm saying.
I don't know.
What's up, guys? Roger kicked me off the podcast, but you can't kick me off the ad reads. So let's get into it. February 11th, the big game. The biggest game of the year, the Super Bowl, and FanDuel is here to support you. As you know, we're teaming up with FanDuel to offer everyone our free Optic Gaming jersey, just in time for the big game. All you got to do is sign up to FanDuel at FanDuel.com/OpticJersey and make a sports book wager of at least $20 within 30 days of signing up. By doing this, you will be eligible to receive a sponsor-free special edition version of our brand new 2024 jersey, along with $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. After placing your bet, make sure to check your email to follow the instructions on how to receive the jersey, and don't miss out on this limited time offer. Sign up for FanDuel and place your bets And you all must use the link. Click the link or you are not eligible. That is fanduel.com/opticjersey in order to get eligible for our heroes jersey for 2024. If you have been feeling a little achy or tense from your recent rank grind, veraheel.com is committed to helping you receive the medical care you need. Ease. At Veraheel, the Veraheel platform is super simple to use. Just sign up, talk to a doctor, and get approved, and that's pretty much it. Before you queue your next match, the MMJ card will be on its way, unlocking exclusive and limitless resources and serious savings, all from the comfort of your own home. Ready to get started? Visit veraheel.com/optic. That's VERIHEAL.com/optic for $30 off your first medical cannabis card. Veraheel.com makes relief easy. Do you need a snack to fuel your gaming sessions? Well, look no further.
Definitely the right way. Everything.
Cheez-Its Duo Crackers. Because two flavors are better than one. Made with 100% real cheese and baked crispy and crunchy to perfection. Cheez-It Duos are our cheesiest gaming snack. Visit Cheez-It.com to find a store near you and keep the game going. What's up, guys? Hope you're enjoying the podcast, but before we get back to it, let's talk a little bit about Shopify. When I started streaming, selling things were the least of my worries. It was not anything that was even on my mind until one day, cha-ching. We sell merch. We sell coffee mugs and different types of things for TST and for Optic. Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify is here to help. Shopify is a global commerce platform that helps you at every stage of your business. Launch your online shop stage to the real life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage? Shopify helps turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, which is 36% on average better compared to like I said, plenty of my friends that do content online, podcasts or streams or YouTube videos, sorts, pretty much Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the United States, and Shopify is the global force behind all those products, representing millions of other entrepreneurs on every site. Sign up for $1 per month trial at shopify.com/optic, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/optic to grow your business on stage.
All right, next up, we've got Joe Rogan signed a $250 million deal with Spotify that will load Netflix posts on Twitter.
Didn't he just sign the 100 million? That's on top of the 100?
No, I think he's more than 100, right?
I thought it was $100 million like a couple of years ago when he first went on.
Nice. Dude, what is our podcast going to take?
Oh my god, I knew it was gonna flash. Fuck, I knew
Spotify is paying him $250 million so that he'll post on other websites?
So does he do?
I'm confused.
That's an incredible deal.
Yeah, that's great. I've never seen anything like it.
He can post his podcast on Twitter and shit and other sites
and get paid $250 million.
Wow. And gets an X monetization check.
Is that all Joe Rogan does? Is he like? Does he do a podcast a day?
Straight podcast. I don't know if it's a day, but I do watch them.
Dude, same. I love like the little cuts they do, like little take 5-minute little clips out of like his hour-long podcast or whatever. I just watch those over and over.
The highlights.
Yeah, I wonder if he does like a week. Like, I wonder if he just has like a day where he'll just do like 5. Like he'll just do like 5 2-hour ones.
I don't know. That's
because they're pretty long.
He's doing like 2.5, 3, 4 hour fucking podcasts.
Is that how long they go?
Sometimes, yeah.
He probably does 1 to 2.
How come all this shit closed?
I mean, that's a shit ton of podcasting. I can't.
That's all he's doing.
But he also has like, I mean, the pick. He can pick whoever he wants. And
Yeah.
People are gonna come on. He's picking.
He's got lined up.
Would you
for
go
like
to a
months.
live podcast to watch it? Like if he did a live show?
If Theo Von was on it, I would probably do it.
If it was close.
Who was on it?
Theo Von.
He gets funny ass guests because he's like in the comedian world. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
half his guests are comedians, so they're just like hilarious podcasts.
He's the one where he was on the Joe Rogan podcast and he told Joe Rogan was showing him in his cold plunge or whatever, and he's like, he just like strapped up turkeys with no on him because like his ass. Or he was talking to Drewski, and it, like Theo Von is so funny that like his jokes go over. It's too fast for comedians. I forget what Drewski said. He was talking about meeting Michael Jackson or something, and he was like, "Yeah, you know, I wish I would have seen him." And Theo Von asked him, he was like, "Did you ever meet Michael Jackson?" And he was like, "Nah, man, I must have been what, like 8, 9 years old." And Theo Von like immediately said that would have been the time to meet him.
I mean, that's a sick one.
Oh my fucking god!
That guy can say whatever he wants. Oh, it's always crazy to me when people transcend the cancel culture. He can just say whatever the fuck. People just love it.
It's all in the delivery.
It's
How
the
you say it.
delivery?
There's like
Yeah.
no hate in his voice.
No.
It's, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
just like, cause he just.
But yeah, shouts out Joe Rogan, man. I mean, he's been grinding his podcast for
Killing the game.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know how he does it, because I just feel like it's a lot. Like,
I mean, it says right there how he does
well, I
it.
know, but like, picture like his, like he's got to like, if he has a physicist coming in, like, you think Joe Rogan's like that well versed? He probably has to like prep to be able to like know what the fuck he's talking about, at least to
Well,
make
like,
it.
Kind of just like ask him questions all the time. He'll just like let someone like that, like a physicist or someone who's obviously in some like crazy line of work. He'll just let them talk most of it, and then he'll just ask him questions or pitch in every now and then. But like,
Yeah,
just
but you
let
got
them
to
talk.
know what questions to ask.
You got to spitball.
Like, I can't. What am I gonna? I thinking of like what I would ask. I have no fucking idea.
He's just really good at keeping the conversation going. Like, there's not really any dead.
But also tomorrow we have. This should be. I don't know why this isn't on the topic list, but tomorrow we have Resurgence ranked dropping season number 2. So
gonna
today,
play that?
huh?
You gonna play that?
I really want to, cause do you want to play it with me? Because these guys are so these guys only want to play like ranked. Like
You guys still love ranked like that? You guys learned cheaters yet?
yeah,
Yeah.
probably like
Not yesterday.
we were definitely running into wallers yesterday. We're running into cheaters every day.
We didn't like have a blatant one yesterday at all. Any cheese working now.
No, we're running into cheaters. We're running into cheaters probably 1 out of every 5 games. Like there's probably at least.
Yeah.
But like,
But like they're scared though to do it on the shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too.
Like they'll be like, yeah,
Yeah,
or they'll
they're
leave
like-
before the game starts, or they'll just
They
want to
gotta rank
risk
all
it.
the way
Some
back
of them
up.
do though. Some of
That's
them
so much
try it.
time.
yeah, no, people like, I don't know. Like we're definitely playing cheaters, but this is what scares me for Resurgence, is because now
I knew it. I fucking knew
it's
it.
on a
I
free-to-play
fucking
game.
smelled it in my
So-
fucking.
Because obviously,
I smelled
obviously
it.
MVP rank, you gotta pay to actually have multiplayer and have rank. This shit, completely free.
But like, if you get high enough though, and if it works properly, you're not gonna run into that many cheaters. 'Cause I swear in Warzone, we don't run into that many
Fair
cheaters.
enough.
You know what I mean? Like, there's not that many cheaters in Warzone. Like, well, that we were like running into like day to
I wonder
day.
how many.
Not like Warzone 1
how
where it's
much
like every other
SR you
fucking
get for a
109 and some
win,
guy spin botting on the ground. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing with Warzone ranked is that the lobby's so big that you're not gonna have like, if you're in the top 250, you're not gonna have like a bunch of iridescent teams and crimson teams. Like it puts a lot of different
Really?
ranks. Yeah, you're not just running into like, because just think about it. There's 100. You need 100 people. A Resurgence lobby, what is it, like 60 people? Like the matchmaking can't.
That's true. Or else you'd be waiting for like an hour. It'd be like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Which honestly I wouldn't mind. But
Well, how much SR would you get for a win? Yeah, that's what I want to see. Oh, teams remaining.
How SR in Warzone rank? Teams remaining? Okay. Okay, so you get placement SR. The thing I'm curious about, I think you lose SR when you die in Resurgence, which kind of doesn't make sense to me because the whole point of Resurgence is to be able to die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole point.
First kill or assist, 10 kills plus assist. So if you drop 10 plus, 250.
What? This looks like
Yeah, like if you just have a nasty squad, you can low key just like.
Well, there's
Warzone kids not just gonna like all grind together and just get top 50 right away. Like,
well, no, there's a price. Like when you get to top 250, you're paying like 150 SR
it's like
to get in the
Apex?
game. So if you don't win the game, you're basically like if you don't get
losing
top
SR?
3, you're like losing SR. Yeah.
That's how Apex works?
yeah, you like buy in. You start with like negative in the top right.
But I'm really excited for this. I
don't know how I feel about that.
again, like you just want to play MP ranked. Zinni only wants to play MP ranked. Fucking Nate Shot said he was down to play this.
I love Nate.
Yeah, Nate said he's down.
Dude, how does he keep
like?
Yeah, I might be down. I don't know. Let's see. Games with you are insane.
Dude.
They're insane.
People and people try to downplay it, and I'm sitting here like, dude, there's no fucking way you guys think this is real. There's 30 people low town.
We go low town, bro. It's insane.
There are 30 people, and that's not where it ends. There's teams that land outside, and then they come to low town to try to kill you with their loadies. It's
on
like,
the hill. Sniper
It's
lens.
fucking hell.
I was like, I was getting mad at Nick because I was like, dude, you have to hide. Like, are you not getting pissed? Like, just dying? Like, are you not getting angry? So we'll see. I don't think stream sniping's gonna be that bad. Well, just because I hide my screen. But it's also Resurgence, so
makes it a little better.
Yeah. So there's 50. What does it say? 51 players per match player count. 51.
17 teams.
Yeah, match player count 51. Fortune's Keep, which I'm excited for.
Trios.
I think this is gonna be fun as fuck.
I think it'll be fun.
Oh, it's trios.
But I just so my SR
yeah,
on
trios.
COD gets reset tomorrow, and I gotta get back to Iridescent.
What? Why?
The new season's
No,
coming.
no. Actually, I heard that ranks don't. Your rank doesn't reset, but your like level does. So like your like emblem, like whether it be the dragon or whatever the fuck it is, that resets back to 0, but your actual rank doesn't. At least that's what I heard. That's what I heard today. And I was just in like a Twitch chat, and that's what people were saying. So I don't know.
There'll also be a death fee where players lose SR.
I could be wrong.
However, you cannot lose more SR than you put in for the deployment fee.
You cannot. Oh,
it just means you're buying in. You could lose 100 if you're buying in. You don't lose 100. You lose 1,000.
Yeah, so there will be a death fee where players lose SR each time they die in Resurgence. While there's respawning emoji, you can tell us you're dying off, and now we can also. Okay. So yeah, you can see where are the deployments? Is it? I'm sure it's the same as like what Warzone was last year. There's no way they fucked it. But I think this is gonna be dope, and it sounds like you're down.
Start grinding Warzone Resurgence, right?
You don't have to grind it, but just play like tomorrow.
Just tomorrow?
Just to try it. I just want to try it, because I might not like it. I think that I'm gonna like it based off like what it is, but I might not like it.
Actually, on Scrims tomorrow, we could try it.
Dead ass? Oh shit! I just got fucking hi. You gonna be on multiplayer? You're on multiplayer?
Right. I mean, if my shit doesn't reset and I'm still iridescent, I'll play Warzone.
See, like I have fun playing multiplayer ranked until like 5 hours, and then I'm like, oh. Yeah, then I just like my brain turns off.
He starts looking at me as I'm spawning up, like bro, I'm spawning here. You're not spawn trapping anyone.
I'm trying to get any dope, like
it's
just
so funny,
cracking
though.
jokes.
He like turns around fast, and then I'll be like, oh shit, Seth's tweaking. Like he doesn't.
Yeah, that shit is funny. Dude, the other day I actually was tweaking, and you said it, and I was like, oh shit, I'm tweaking. I forget what it was, but I was actually tweaking. I was like looking for someone in the back. Oh, it was on
and
Invasion.
I spawned up. I'm like, Seth is bugging.
Yeah, no, I was on Invasion. That guy was our back blue, and I was like, where the fuck is this guy, bro? And I would literally hunted him for like
Chasing
a minute.
ghosts.
And like, Seth's tweaking. And I still didn't find him. He kept killing him. But I'm hyped. I think we've never.
Depends how many cheaters there are. Is it obvious when people are like they'll just blatantly
Their aim
wall
on.
you, or they
Oh,
kind of try to hide it?
The
Walling's
obvious
hard,
ones, yeah.
bro.
The obvious ones, like you can tell, they're like soft aiming, and it's like, dude, nobody's shooting this fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like they're soft aiming, like all their bullets are hitting like here or your head.
Yeah.
or they're just fucking aimbotting, which that's the next.
I would rather
tier
them
up.
aimbot me.
Yeah.
Than wall me, and I don't know if they have like sound EQ and like all this other shit.
Yeah,
you know what
so
I'm saying? I'd rather them just aimbot my shit.
So that's what I'm saying. You don't think we're playing cheaters? We're playing a waller probably.
You're playing a walling stream sniper probably every single game.
I'd be so fucking paranoid.
Every single game.
Not every game.
They're not that good.
Every
but
time.
Every game, there's a stream sniping waller in your range.
Not every game, but some of them for sure.
So you never really know, like when you die, it's
never
always
really
in the
know.
back of your head, like,
No,
was
like-
that guy cheating?
You kind of know, like, because I mean, we've played a good amount of ranked at this point. We've played a decent amount of like multiplayer. We played hardpoint searches at the start of the year. So we like know when something's like, why the fuck are you looking at that?
Yeah.
It's like, why are you checking that right now?
Right.
So it's like you kind of just have to go off your intuition.
Yeah, makes sense.
But it's not horrible. The cheating hasn't been horrible.
No, it hasn't been too bad, but it's bad.
Yeah, it hasn't been horrible, but there's definitely people that are cheating. But I'm excited because this is the first time Resurgence ranked has ever dropped. I'm pretty sure they did like Warzone ranked last year and the year before that, I think, or was last year the first year? I can't remember, but I don't think they've ever done Resurgence. So we'll see how it goes. And that's their next fucking tier. They always do it. They release things one at a time, so it keeps pulling you back in.
Till October, November rolls around, $70 again.
Nah, I would say till like May. May's like when everything's probably like March,
Yeah.
April, May. Like everything for COD is like out at that point. They might add a couple maps,
Skins.
a couple skins that are cool, but then like after the CDL ends, it feels like COD just like ends. At least for me.
Yeah, same.
Like, once CDL's done, it's like okay.
Maybe like a 1 week of rank. People were playing rank after that shit ended. I was like, these guys are nuts.
Yeah. So
Love this shit.
I'm excited, man.
Hey,
I think it has
Love this
potential.
shit.
And I'm not sure what the fuck else to talk about.
And it.
Toby Keith died.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did he
Today.
actually?
R.I.P. Toby, man.
R.I.P. Toby.
The country singer, right?
Yeah. Like elephant.
Red Cup.
I didn't even know he
Red
was
Solo
sick. He had
Cup.
red solo cup. Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
wow.
really?
Yeah, he died.
Oh wow, yeah.
R.I.P. a legend.
That's insane.
He was only 61,
Dude, yeah.
R.I.P. Toby.
Man.
I said we just chatted up. So what's going on?
Go feed my baby a bottle. Yeah.
How is the baby? Good?
Great. Yeah, actually, she started crawling and babbling yesterday, which are two like major milestones. You know, they'll like make sounds like but they need to like make sounds like ba 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 ba.
Yeah.
And she did both of them yesterday. We were starting to get worried that like, because after like 9 or 10 months, if they're not babbling, they might be autistic. And oh shit! So we were starting to panic a little bit,
Ooh,
but
that's
she started. So yeah, it's
Nice.
dope.
So
So it was a big day.
So you were like,
It was a big day. Yesterday was a big day. We got it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
good.
amazing. How is it like
It
just
was
day
great.
to day? Is it as crazy as?
It's incredible, dude. It's so good. Well, I hesitate to say it's too incredible because it depends on like your situation. Like you would love it because she stay at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, she stay at home. Like she can take care of the kid. Alex is stay at home. So it like, if you're in the right circumstances, it's great. You know, if you don't have to, you don't have two parents like commuting to work every day and you don't see your baby. But yeah, for our situation, it's fantastic.
It's like all the time. Is it all the time baby time, or is it like
For her, it is. Yeah, for me, no. I mean, I do my work throughout the day, and then
once
I get
those
like,
markets open?
yeah, I'm
Once
locked
that
in.
market opens, we gotta be there.
Like, I'm checking right
Are you?
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus. That's amazing. Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. It's fun. There's some scary moments, like she had COVID. You know, we had to go.
No,
we had to go
I'm
to
not
urgent
laughing at
care.
that.
baby
I'm
had
laughing
COVID? Huh? The baby had
The
COVID?
baby, that was her first
Whoa.
sickness. Was
Oh
COVID.
goodness. When was that?
Last week, 2 weeks ago, something like that. She didn't have that bad. She was good.
Damn.
But it's,
Really?
but yeah, it's all good.
It's not that bad. It's a baby with COVID, isn't that?
For
like
her?
insane?
No, she was good. Yeah. Now it's like way worse.
Is that true?
I mean,
I don't think they
they're
get
just-
they
they're
don't
just
get it
born.
that
Yeah,
bad.
they're fresh.
That shit should be.
I would feel like they're vulnerable.
Yeah, if it's like if they're under 6 months, then that's
Probably.
kinda sketch, but she's almost
She's
not,
like
so-
developed as a baby.
Yes.
Not like speaking, but like as far as a baby, she's developed.
Yeah, she's not like, you don't have to worry about her just like dying in her sleep or something. But at first, dude,
That is morbid.
Yeah, that's real, dude.
You're
At
just
first,
checking for the first 6 months?
SIDS is like, yeah, it's no joke.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that'd probably be scary to like have your like.
It's scary at first, and then you get
Haven't heard a noise for like too long. Slept a little too long. Why haven't I woken up
Like,
yet?
damn, I ain't wake up in 5 hours.
Yeah, you gotta have the camera with the app on at all time when they're sleeping, and like.
What did they do back in the day? Like
Died,
way before
pretty sure.
technology. Go in there with your lantern.
They died more.
Go up to the baby's face. Show it's alive.
Yeah, it's been weird for me just being home alone. I mean, it's weird when you have like Iz around and she's always helping. You know, she helps me with food, helps me with shit around the house if it needs fixed. But now that I'm home alone, it's like if I want to do something, I have to like do it. And it's like when I'm streaming, it's so different because like I have to actually get off stream for like 3-4 minutes, go downstairs, let the dogs out, wait for them to be done, to let them back in, to go back up. So it's like I have to actually like leave my stream, which I usually never have to do. So yeah, shouts out Iz. I know the stream is a lot different than a baby.
Not even comparable.
Yeah, it's not even remotely comparable, but yeah, it's weird, man.
You'll like it. You'll like it. If y'all plan, I don't know if y'all plan on having kids.
Mark's already there.
No, but why do you keep saying? You can't just.
Mark's
throw that
there.
out there.
That was the biggest deflect I've ever seen.
Yeah, he did
Threw
deflect,
it over to
but
you.
no, I'm not there. But Seth is.
Wait,
that's why he was telling y'all he can't tell. Is pregnant, guys? Is pregnant, guys? I don't want to tell you.
Wait, have we not talked about the fucking Aiden Ross scammage yet?
No, we did not.
Oh my god. Yeah, this was insane.
Is that Playboy Cardi?
Yeah, that's Playboy Cardi. So I don't know. I'm a little bit like just
He offered him $2 million and a Ferrari to come on the street, and like the original, it was really only supposed to be 10 minutes. 12
I have
minutes,
no idea.
something
What?
like that.
No.
I think it was.
I mean, I've seen a lot of TikToks and conspiracies.
nah, these
I heard
guys
this motherfucker doesn't even have any interviews out, and that's why it was going to be so big. And Playboy Cardi doesn't do any interviews.
Yeah.
And that's why this was going to be so big. So he was going to actually be on a stream.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
obviously,
it has to
didn't
be
go that far.
Yeah, because he said he stayed for half of it. I think he was only supposed to be there for like 12 minutes. So he stayed for 6 minutes.
I did see Aiden Ross, like I saw a tweet this morning saying like they're going to do a part 2.
Yeah.
And they're just going to
That's-
do it again.
yeah, that's where
That's where it seems like
I don't know.
like an act or something. Now it's like super hyped up, and now he's going to get 700K viewers.
And now
and
it's just like
it'd be
weird.
hella smart. I can't even lie.
no, they're so good at like at creating those viral moments.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. Like, is that 2 mil real? Like, it's like, is it?
I don't
Like,
know.
was it
We'll
ever
never
there?
know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
That's the annoying part.
We'll just never get the
And
answer.
if he's in front of you and you ask him and he tells you it's real, you're like, what's the fucking real? Like, so it's like
just standing with a mask on, staring at you. You're just like, fuck, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they probably are that smart. Now that I think about it, they got a whole team of people over there,
Fuck
like just
yeah.
literally formulating all day. How can we get hype on the stream?
And then I think Aiden was saying that there was a $30 million kick deal for Cardi after the stream, but like the thing for me is like he doesn't even do interviews and shit.
Yeah, he ain't
How
streaming,
the
bro.
fuck
He ain't
is she
streaming.
gonna turn into a streamer?
He ain't streaming.
It's definitely good though. I was watching it. I was glued to my screen. I was like, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like this guy just came on and went 2024 new music. I was like, bro, what's going on?
Look at the mask. Yeah, if they're gonna do a part 2, then that probably makes sense. That was probably fake.
Were you guys watching it like live?
I didn't see it live. I just saw clips the next day.
It was at like 2:30 a.m. and I was
how many
like,
viewers were in there?
like 400 when I was watching, but I was because there was like an hour and he was like, he's coming on soon, he's supposed to be coming on any second now, and like that went on for like an hour, and Aiden was like just stalling, I guess, because
Building the viewers type of stalling.
but then he came on, and it was just weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. Either way, that's insane. Just everything involved in here is insane. $2 million Playboy card. He's 6 man. Like there's just so much shit that's just insane about
It's
this.
insane. I mean, shouts out to Aiden, man. That shit is.
He knows how to fucking get viewers, bro.
I mean, and then right before that was the 21 Savage shit with the cards.
He's just all over TikTok. Like, you know what I'm saying? His clips are everywhere, dude.
He got it going on.
That's it,
for
bro.
sure.
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We were just told this was an hour long, and that blows my fucking mind. But thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next podcast. Peace.
No key to the infinity
We've never done that.
We've never done that.
But we should.
We should do
because
something.
we should for our special
Yeah, I know the words to that
episodes. We should for our special episodes in which we have today. First off, the Fightcast is brought to you by Corduroy's in Center CBD sparkling drink. But today's a special one. We have, of course, joined by Hitch. And we have some guests. We know you guys love the guests.
We have the two.
So we dug.
We dug deep.
Who can we get?
We hit up
have
managers.
to bring the best of the best.
We were just given a talent salary, so we paid them each like what, $10, something like that. For
Well, I
a
think
guest appearance.
TJ 10, Aaron 200.
$200K. Dollars. Oh, okay.
But yes, we are joined here today by two Halo legends.
The two best Halo players in the history of the game.
Arguably, if you're from the new school, you might call him the greatest Halo player of all time. If you're from the old school, you might say he's top 25, maybe.
So if you're talking about Aaron,
Yeah,
or Lee TJ.
who? Lethal is joining us today, and also
Aaron.
Ace, global champ.
If you're new school, you might call him. I don't know if you know him.
I'm not gonna be able to get through because this fucking kid.
I don't know.
Actually, it's actually surprising
What
that, that global champ was such a
Oh
big
my fucking god.
that like people have to like someone recognize you and like,
Why
oh,
the fuck do you have your son?
Aren't you the guy that won the global champ?
You're the guy that yelled when they told you to yell.
And pull the mic in as well.
all three of us together. It was all three of us together.
And they're like, that's Ace.
Yeah. Weren't we like optic and shit?
We were in like
Pull the mic to you.
we were in LA on this Panda Express. I think like a year after
Aaron's one biggest
I don't
fan
remember it.
is at an LA Panda Express. To this day.
Just like
He just tells people, dude,
1v1.
The global champ came in here once. Like, who? They're like, dude, I just want orange chicken. Like,
well, before we start talking about Halo for the entire time, hopefully we get that. I'm sure Aaron can bring some other stuff to the table. DJ, I think all he might know at this point is Halo.
I don't even know that anymore.
But and it's also been a while since I've seen you. How you been, man? What? Anything new going on? What where
Bad.
are you at?
My answers are bad.
No and
So how you
Bad
doing?
and
Bad.
Yeah.
You been
Anything
doing
new?
anything
No.
new? No.
And where am I at?
Good. Here. What about you,
I got
Aaron?
nothing to say.
Aaron's on a whole new fucking journey in life.
Yeah, Aaron, what dimension you currently on?
wait, what dimension are you doing this podcast from?
Thank you, Aaron's vessel, for joining us.
Past year, I've
Yes.
kind of been just doing other stuff. I decided to
I gotta go to
do
work,
training,
so
and that's
fuck
kind of
this shit
what
I'm
I've
doing
done for a while. And besides that, I just,
Especially if it's gonna be fucking
try to
glitchy.
take care of myself and building gaming.
You still are playing Halo though?
Yeah.
You should cut that one out.
We just got top 6 in the last online tournament. Didn't have enough points to make the plan that happened last week or whatever. But then my teammate left, so we're at it right now.
This is yoga.
No respect, thinking the grass is greener on the other side.
They're not teaming
He
with
just quoted his own. He just quoted his own tweet from yesterday. I'm not even kidding.
People think they're like, oh, change teams.
Would you say Halo Infinite's been your hardest? Not like
Halo Infinite's the hardest game for everything.
not necessarily
Playing it.
individually, but like I've definitely. I mean, obviously your placings in this game aren't as good as what you want them to be.
You don't know what he wants to play since he's in.
Dude, I don't know if TJ can agree. We've played a lot, but I feel like Halo Infinite is I've heard the other ones.
You don't even know what he's gonna say, but you're like, yeah.
You don't need a full,
It sounded
you need
bad.
a full team to like even do anything. You could be like this position on the team, and you could just be dying over and over. Sometimes you know what I mean? Like Halo Infinite's so like you can get across to every position on the map that like, it's such a team game. Everyone needs to be kind of like on the same page the whole time. It's such a different Halo.
It ain't very fun.
Yeah,
It's not fun.
It's not.
No, it's like anti-fun.
TJ, how are you coping with not
I don't
winning
care.
every?
I do not care.
Well, not winning every event anymore.
Well,
Like,
at least ABG's got some wins. I'm happy for Brad. Every time I see Brad, he's just like happy.
Yeah, he's too happy.
Well, that's why I kind of I'm like happy that he got like brought down a step because he got third last event. But maybe like if he, I don't know, if he got like second, I feel it'd be a bunch of personal knowledge. Happy but not too happy.
You don't want
me
to
off.
sound too much.
Yeah.
So you want him a little more
APG
humble.
walked around
Yeah.
there smiling.
He
Like we
walked-
did a.
For no reason.
We did a. I mean, APG had his. I don't know if he's necessarily struggled. He's always done this pretty good. But like now it's like he's playing the best he's ever played.
Yeah.
Recently has the best team he's ever.
Imagine
been on.
peaking it your 18th year.
Yeah. Like I am
crazy.
Took him 18
This
years.
man's shoot
but
is
he
big as
figured it out.
fuck.
Figured it out.
Like ABG's always been like
You gotta
on
run
the
it.
top 3, top 4. He might get some top 6s or something.
Yeah.
He's always sort of been up there, but for his fucking 18th season, for him to finally
See, but like
come on the
now it
streak
could be
that
like a
he
return
is.
to the mean, or like law of like averages. Everything averages out. Maybe after this run, like he goes and gets like top 20. That way, it just averages out to like he averaged the same placings throughout like this period of the run.
I can't believe. I didn't think like there's certain people who I see be good at Halo Infinite. APG's not one of them. Like he just like I figured he would just.
That's far.
I figured he was just like ripping off the eye, but he's not the same idiot.
I mean, not in game, but
I mean, out of game he is.
I don't know.
But
The game's completely lame. That's all I know.
This game is complicated.
I can't.
What is the most complicated Halo?
I don't know if Halo's complicated.
No, it isn't. I don't know. This game is just like I don't know where to start.
It's like a Call of Duty squad spawn.
Yeah. Dude, we can go with this. TJ, if you guys don't know, both of these feel the opposite. TJ forced my retirement. He joined. They were the number 1 team. Was that one?
Yeah, you guys want to
I tried forcing both your retirement.
I think it was me, you, APG, and Hines.
He forced both of your retirement, but
Aaron
only
didn't take
one,
the hint?
Only
Yeah,
one
Aaron didn't give
retired.
up. Aaron didn't give up.
Remember,
Nick threw in the towel instantly.
It was. Optic Halo was me, you, Hines, and APG, and I was like excited for that team. I was like, finally, because I've been getting shit on in this fucking
You said,
game.
Hector, I got good news.
And then here comes TJ,
And he goes, I got good news too.
and the number 1 fucking God Squad.
I pull up in my 2000 Ford Explorer at the Optic House
Dude, I swear I got
randomly, and he
dropped.
goes, "Why are you here?" And I said, "You know."
You know.
I am. Why,
I
one
swear
reason
I
why
got
I'd be
dropped
here.
and you pulled up like that night, just like where do I plug my shit in?
Yeah, yo, Nick, get out.